What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is Friday. Y'all know what that means. Y'all, we about to have us a good old time tonight because we got plenty of news to talk about, plenty of things to catch up on. I don't know about y'all, but I cannot wait to talk to y'all about many of these things that we got cooking tonight. It feels like it has been way too long. I hate the fact that, like we got a whole week. Like, usually we be having like some show or something to talk about here and there. But like, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. Your boy's been busy. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been making some moves, been going some places, flying around, and I'm tired. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I'm tired, yo. Like I am just sitting here like, yo, I'm still catching up from a little jet lag. But it is what it is. In case you haven't seen, and I mean, my goodness, I hope you have been following me on the social media. I've been a little busy out there. Let's see. Hold on. Let's get to the. You should definitely be following me on the on Instagram and on Twitter, even though supposedly everybody thinks Twitter's about to die. But it is definitely worth your time to check that out and keep up with all the stuff that I'm doing. You never know what I'll post. You never know what I'll be up to. You never know who I might meet. Speaking of which, in case y'all missed out, hold on, let me grab this real quick. Yes, so your boy was on the tele, talking about Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Of course, I got that video up, so in case you missed it, definitely go check that out. But listen, let me just tell y'all something. Like, and I made this post and I'm gonna stand by that. Y'all can't talk to me no kind of way no more. Okay? Like, ain't nobody finna come up to me and talk to me any kind of way after I just talked to the Janelle Monae. Okay, it's just not gonna happen. All right. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care if you want to call it bougie, whatever. When you talk to Janelle Monae, that's it. Okay. Let me just say, because I do want to give her props. She is perfection. And when I say that, I'm talking about the fact that this woman does not seem real. Okay. She comes up and I'm like, who drew you? Who painted you together? Who put you together? This woman ain't got a blemish on her face. I don't think she's ever had a pimple in her life. Okay. Like she just perfect. Teeth is just perfect. She smell good. Everything. I'm like, God, why are you so perfect? Well, I don't understand. And she's so nice. She's so nice. It's one of those things where, like, I know they be saying like, don't meet your heroes and stuff like that. But like, man, when you meet somebody and they just so cool, so down to earth, it is, I think that is just one of the best feelings right there. So shout out to her, and while I was out there, and shout out by the way to Netflix for flying your boy out there. I got a chance to talk to Ryan Johnson, the Knives Out director, Last Jedi director. I know some people don't like not Last Jedi. That's fine. I like it. I liked it. But it was really cool just to kind of hang out with him real quick and just kind of nerd out, on Star Wars and talk about that kind of stuff. But it was definitely a good situation. And like for anybody that was wondering, if you like Knives Out, you're going to like Glass Onion. Glass Onion. Now I would say this though, there is a difference. Glass Onion is, I wouldn't say it's more so focused on the mystery, but you're going into it more so for the characters, if that makes sense. So in other words, whenever you find out who done it, that's not the end of it all. You know what I'm saying? That's not the biggest thing. Like you're really going into it for an exploration into the characters, and Ryan Johnson does, I think, a really good job of doing that. It's funny, You know what I'm saying? Like people in the theater, they were laughing, for real. And the cameos are definitely something you'll enjoy as well. But yeah, in my opinion, I don't think that this is as good as Knives Out. And that's only because of preference. I'm not saying that it's a terrible movie and nothing like that. I'm just saying if I had to choose, I like my experience with Knives Out more because it was more of a mystery. This one is less, just a little bit of a mystery and almost more of a comedy, right? So like you're just going to have slightly different experiences with this movie. Um but either way, like if you like Knives Out, you'll definitely like this. If you haven't watched Knives Out, go watch Knives Out. It's really good. And it's on Netflix, so you should definitely go check that out. And Glass Onion, I believe, comes out like late November. So just in a couple weeks, it'll be hitting Netflix very soon, coming to some theaters as well. But definitely worth the watch. And I gotta say, like, yo, Janelle was like really good. And like she surprised me. I was like, "Oh, you out here acting." Like I didn't know you could do that. Like she really had me believing she was somebody else. And I won't give it away, but I was impressed. I was like, "Yo, I see you act a couple times, but like she was really good." And it's also a really good cast too. Ed Norton is in there, Kate Hudson, Ed Norton, and so on and so forth. I don't want to give everybody else up, but like Dave Bautista's in there. He's funny as well. So yes, definitely check out Glass Onion when it comes out. If and you'll definitely enjoy yourself with that. So anyway, that was like just one of the many things that was like keeping me preoccupied. I did not get a chance to I didn't get a chance to put them all up, but I still have to work with my peoples to get the watch party going. So I do want to say, but I did sneak a couple pictures just to share with y'all. So shout out to all of y'all that did show up to the Black Panther Wakanda Forever watch party / fundraiser. Y'all, it was something. It was something. Y'all, listen. Imagine you come into a theater and all of a sudden you hear the African drums right in front of your theater. You got a red carpet and everybody's getting in the mood. You see the backdrop back there. You can take your little pictures and everything. And then all of a sudden, look at this. Look at this. The king just show up. Where the king come from? Where did the king just show up like that? Where did he just showed up? I don't know who that was. I don't know who, but all I know is T'Challa showed up in the building taking pictures with the babies, and that was just awesome. And of course, your boy had to be out there. I was out there addressing the crowd, talking to everybody, thanking everyone, for coming out. And my goodness, shout out to my man Eros the poet. Yes, we had spoken word right before the whole event to prep everything, and it was so good. And like I said, this whole event, the whole watch party, I did it for, of course, the Wakanda Forever Challenge. This was an effort to raise money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, to help those kids that are fighting cancer. And people turned up. People turned up, they donated, and that was the main thing, right? That was the biggest thing that I was hoping for with that event, and people did not disappoint. So thank you to everybody that's donated. And by the way, you can still donate. I think my mod squad's got the links in the chat. But yes, you can still donate by just going to GoFundMe.com /Wakanda Forever Challenge. And you can get that going as well. Of course, E-Man loves the kids. That's the little homie Destiny. I remember. She came up to me and she was like, "Can I take a picture?" Absolutely, you could take a picture. What? But I gotta play a little favoritism here. I gotta be a little, because this hit me, right here. And this was with my man Reese. So shout out to my man Reese. That's him right there with his dad, Steve. Reese flew all the way. He flew all the way from Oakland, if I'm not mistaken, from California, just to come to little old cold Chicago to come watch Black Panther with us. And you know, what else hold on, let me see. My man, also, see, my man drew me some pictures. I got those up there. Let's see, what else did he draw? He had some other things here for me. Reese, I got all your stuff, Reese. I still got all your stuff that you made for me. You know, my man was doing the Wakanda Forever challenge. He drew me all this stuff as well. He did like Recast T'Challa at his school, was raising money, getting signatures. Got all of that. So Reese, I still got all the stuff that you got me. And just to kind of give you guys a little background, I mean, you know, Reese's dad was reaching out to me, and he had told me that, like, you know, Reese had become nonverbal, you know, and you know, even though he lost his ability to like really communicate, you know, he still would watch the channel, you know what I'm saying? And you know, his dad was just like, man, like, you make him happy, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get that reaction when you're on, and when you're doing your thing. And damn it, okay, hold on, give me a second here. You know, to I really appreciate it, because his dad was like, you know, you make him happy, and I would do anything, you know, to make him happy. And if that meant, you know, flying across the country just to watch a movie with you, um that's everything. And you know, like, from one dad to another, like, I'm like, bro, I would do anything for my kids too, you know? If my kids had anything going on with them, and if they had to if I had to make them smile, I would do that too, you know? So sorry, thug tears. But no, I really appreciated that, because you know, you ain't gotta do that. You know, a lot of people could just stay at home, but I really appreciate you guys coming out. You know, we stayed as long as we could, took as many pictures, autographed whatever you wanted me to. Um, but man, like, thank you so much, Reese. I appreciate you. Steve, I appreciate, from one dad to another. I appreciate you too, man. Like, that's big love right there. That's big love. All right, come on now. Sorry. Give me a second. Okay. All right. This is the downfall of being live. Anything can happen. So anyway, watch party was dope. And video is coming very soon, so stay tuned for that. And I'll post pictures and stuff like that too. Okay. I gotta give one other disclaimer. So because of the nature of today's topics, if you have not watched Black Panther Wakanda Forever yet, and I don't know how that is, but if you plan on watching it and you haven't watched it and you don't want spoilers, I'm letting you know now, towards the end of this chat, when we talk about Wakanda Forever, we're going to talk spoilers. So when we get to that point, I'm just letting you know now, don't watch it, because it's kind of hard to talk about the topic without spoilers, right? So I'm giving you guys your warning now. I'm giving you your heads up now. Towards the end of this chat, when we get to that point, we will be going into spoilers for Wakanda Forever. I also am working on the full spoiler breakdown. So that's going to be it's actually a really long video, so that's why it's taking me so long, not to mention I've been traveling and doing stuff. So stay tuned for that as well. I'm going to break it down like scene by scene by scene. I'm going to explain more things in my review, why I felt the way I felt. So it's going to be a really, really concrete breakdown of what was going on, and I'm gonna break that up into separate videos for different topics as well. So stay tuned for that. But and then also towards the end, because some people were asking me like, yo, like, what's up with Recast T'Challa? Like, what's next? Okay, well, we'll talk about that as well towards the end. But again, kind of has to deal with spoilers. So if you don't want that, you just at that point, you're gonna have to bounce. Go watch the movie if you want or whatever, come back. So that's y'all warning. Let's see. I think that's all the housekeeping knows. That's a lot. But anyway, let's see who's in the building real quick, and we're gonna jump into it. We're gonna do some shout outs. I gotta get to these topics because I'm sleepy. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I'm sleepy as hell. So I gotta like get through this. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna do our talk. And then after that, your boy's going to sleep. Your boy's going to sleep. It's gonna be before my bedtime. I know it. All right, let's see who's in the building. Mod Squad kicking it off with Kristen Pratt. That's the vet for you. Thank you so much. She's got the GoFundMe link already set right there. Y'all can still donate to that if you want to. And it would definitely be appreciated. Help those kids that are fighting cancer because, forget cancer. Nobody likes cancer, but we all love kids. But thank you so much for that, Kristen. I appreciate you. Kenny Pierce is in the building. What is going on? Thank you so much for making it. My man, Minister Crush is here. What is up? Callow, hello. How you doing? Look at that. We just got done talking about Reese. What's going on? Thank you so much for making it out here. I appreciate you. I told you I got it right there on the shelf. So you all good. Thank you so much for the beautiful drawings and for coming all the way out once again. Screaming Monkey, what is up? What is up? How you doing? Kimmy J is here. What is up? How you doing? Let's see. Deborah's back. Thank you so much. That's a top supporter right there. Thank you, Deborah, for making it out. Jam, what's up? Thanks, Bo Givings. What is going on, Bo? Thank you so much for making it out. Another vet in here. Paul, what's going on? How you doing? Y'all know what it is. Ms. Harper. How you doing, ma'am? Always a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. That's another Mod Squad as well. My man, Jason Rodriguez. Yes, thank God it is Friday. Oh, my goodness. I've been counting the days. Trust me. Thank you so much. Kano is back. Thank you so much. Let's see. Shauna, hello. How you doing? Look at this. I spoke too soon. Deborah already with the contributions. Thank you so much, Deborah. I appreciate you. Hey, E-Man and E-Family, wishing everyone a safe, blessed, and turkey coma-inducing Thanksgiving. Recast T'Challa. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you. When is Thanksgiving? Is that next week? Yeah. Okay. I think it is next week. Yeah. Oh, man. Dang. I guess this is going to be the first one. The last live before Thanksgiving. Okay, yeah. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Yeah, I definitely will. Ooh, am I gonna make it for that Friday next week? I don't know. I hope I don't eat too much turkey. But thank you for that, Deborah, and happy Thanksgiving to you too. Let's see. Let's kind of go through real quick. My man Nelson V is in the building. What's going on? Wilbur, how you doing? Naries, what's up? Leandra, how you doing? My man Joey is here. Hello. KJ, what's up? Got aloha. Hello, ma'am. Let's see. Lucas, what's up? Cynthia Charles, how you doing? My man Marcus J, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Goldilocks is back. Always a pleasure. Let's see. Marva Lees, hello. How are you? Toys Food Chronicles, what's going on? Let's see who else we got. We're gonna try and go fast. My man Mike is back in the building. What's going on? Another top supporter, top vet. Derek Gaines is in the building. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. I saw some other faces. Let me grab them. We got the king in the building with T'Challa. Good to see you. Pierre is here. Hello. There we go. My man Gray is here. What's up? My man Didier is right there as well. Thank you so much. Treble Clef, how you doing? Rhonda, how you doing? She was at the watch party. She knows how good it was. Let the people know. Let's see who else I saw. Chill Spot, how you doing? Thank you so much for making it out. Pamela, I see you too. What is up? Corey, how are you? CJ, what is up? Robert, how you doing? Wait. Chris, there we go. I got you. Hello. And let's see. Soto, we're going to try and go fast. Soto, Keith, Tasha, I see you. Q Jeff, what's up? And last one, I think we did that one already. Okay, last one. Let me see. Andrew Lang. Okay, Andrew, what's going on? How are you? And shout out to everybody that has made it out tonight. I really appreciate y'all taking the time to be here, to chat with me, and we just gonna have us a good time. So let's just get that out the way. But thank you so much. Let's see, we got some comments. Let's grab them before we get to these topics. Kano, yo E, just saw your vid with FD Signifier. I'm glad y'all linked. I knew I would vibe. Yes. So I did a video with FD Signifier, and this is no disrespect to him at all, but I had not heard about him like at first, and it's crazy given like how big his channel is. I'm like, how come I hadn't heard of him? You know, but I'm glad that I found him. I'm glad you guys connected us. People who are online was like, yo, you got to talk, because you know he was going through let's just say the misconceptions of Recast T'Challa. You know what happens when all you see is a hashtag and a couple random people online, and people were like, yo, you need to talk to E-Man. And you know what, we chopped it up, we talked on the phone, we got on the video, cleared up a lot of the nonsense that people were, all the myths. We cleared up all the myths, and realized that we're like, yeah, we do agree. We agree. Like I've told y'all, Recast T'Challa has been reasonable. I told you it's excuse proof. Like no matter how you want to slice it, unless you just want to be emotional and that you're entitled to that, the logic is sound. The arguments are foolproof. Like it's all we want is the character to continue, you know, but we'll address that later. We'll talk about that later. But thank you, Kano. No, it was a pleasure of mine to be on his program, and I'm very, very humbled and appreciative of him having me on there. Let's see, Angel, what you got? Hey, man, about Supernatural. Have you checked out CW's The Witchers or Winchesters, the prequel? Recast T'Challa always. Keep doing big things, and yes, brag on yourself. You deserve it. I don't like bragging on myself. I mean, I'd be joking with all that stuff. I don't like bragging on myself at all, but no, I have not watched the Winchesters. To be honest, as a fan of Supernatural, they kind of turned me off. I kind of got, you know, turned off to the, I think I stopped at season 8. I think I was like season 7, season 8. Whenever the angels fell from earth, whenever that was, I kind of fell off because it was just like, I don't, it felt like they were milking the show and it wasn't as strong, you know. So I did fall off, and I heard about the Winchester show, but I haven't actually watched it. So no, I haven't watched it, but you know, I'll wait and see. I'll see, you know, if there's still buzz, if it hasn't been canceled, maybe, you know, I'll go back and revisit it. We'll see. But thank you so much for that. Jason, what you got? Babies crying the whole time. Wakanda Forever. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, the movie is emotional. You know, it is. I could see that. I could see that. Let's see. Who else? Mo, what you got? What's up, E-Man? Got the Rona. No, so I'm in the house watching. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy, Recast T'Challa. Mo, I'm so sorry to hear that you got the dang on Rona. Hopefully, it just comes and goes, and it is not going to, you know, affect you as bad. But no, speedy recovery to you. Hopefully, you can get back on your feet real soon and enjoy, you know, enjoy the live. You know what I'm saying? Like all the positive vibes should definitely, you know, help out with that. At least I hope so. But thank you so much for the contribution, and thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. Let's see who else. Okay, so let's get on to our first topic of the night. Because like I said, we gotta go through these. All right, so by the way, I don't know if y'all heard about this, but Quentin Tarantino has talked about how he was going to do just one more movie and that was it. Like that was his last project, whatever, and that was it. Well, you know, like a lot of people was kind of like, yeah, all right, yeah, whatever. Last movie, you like you're not like 80 years old, you're not that old, whatever. Stop playing. But apparently it seems as though he's about to do a TV series, right? So this comes through Variety. He says that Tarantino reveals plans to shoot an 8-episode TV series next year. Let's see. Do we actually have any details? I mean, he's done TV before. Like he did CSI. Let's see. I think he did. Okay, he was in talks to do installments of FX's Justified. Oh, I know. Okay, he was asked also about which Marvel or comic book movie he would adapt, He said if given the choice, he would be interested in bringing Marvel's Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos to the screen. That's actually kind of cool. Sergeant Fury follows Nick Fury, portrayed by Sam Jackson, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the escapades of the World War II unit, which appeared in 2011's Captain America: The First Avenger. That's not bad. That's not bad. Let's see. Okay, so it's still some uncertainty as to like what it's going to be. Let's see. The director circled producing possibly a Star Trek entry, maybe doing a pitch to JJ Abrams. Look, all I know is every time I watch Tarantino, whenever he talks about these things, he be all over the place. He'd be like, man, maybe I'll do a little Star Trek. Man, maybe I'll do it. This is why I don't believe him when he be sitting here talking about like, this is all I'm gonna do, just one more movie and that's it. No, you're not. When you're an artist, when you are a creative mind like that, you're going to keep going as soon as you get an idea. You might take a break, and that's fine. You might take a break. You gonna come back. Stop it. Just stop it. Anywho, what do y'all think about Quentin Tarantino potentially doing a TV series? Is there any specific genre or maybe a TV show that you would like for him to do? Whatever those might be, let me know in the comments down below. Let's see. Let's move. Oh man, let's get to y'all favorite movie franchise. Yep, y'all already know what it is. I don't even need to like really prep this one up too much because I know y'all can't wait till this comes out. But here we go. Fast X. Woo! Yeah, buddy. That's right. So apparently, y'all already know Fast 10 is coming out sometime soon. I think it's like next year or so. And if you've been following all the news, they have been pumping up the cast. I mean, Brie Larson's on there, Jason Momoa's on there, Buddy from Reacher's on there. Like they just keep adding people because I don't know, family, whatever, like whatever. But here's the thing. When you keep adding all these actors and when your movie continuously tries to outdo itself, that's gonna add up. Okay, it's gonna add up. And well, that's kind of what's happening right now. Fast X's budget has ballooned to $340 million. And now the question is, can it still turn a profit? Let me explain something real quick. Most movies, okay, like look at Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever, supposedly, the budget was about 200 million. The first movie's budget, the first Black Panther, was about 100 million, right? Every time you have a movie's budget, the budget reportedly is really what it costs to make the movie. That's not the total amount it costs to put the movie out, right? Because that's the real budget. So the real budget is how much does it cost to make, paying the actors, paying the cast, crew, location, etc. Then you got to add on at least another 100 million, maybe 120, 150 for advertising and marketing. When they have the actors flying across the world and doing these world tours and, having commercials and all that stuff adds up. That's marketing. So if this movie has a budget of $340 million and you're not adding the marketing costs, let's just tack on, I don't know, I wouldn't even say 160, but like, let's just round it off and say 500 million, after marketing and stuff, because Vin Diesel, at least with the last Fast one, they had a whole concert, they had commercials everywhere. It was a lot. So let's just round it up and say it's 500 million. How much does it take to make a profit? You already got in the movie industry, at least, okay, for a movie to be deemed successful, at least you want to do 2.5. You don't want to just double. your profit. You want to at least do 2.5. Why? Because not only do you want to get double your money back, but you also have to think about the time that it takes to make movies and all the things you could have been doing. You want a little bit more on your return than just double, right? So at least you want 2.5. That means this movie, if it don't hit $1.5 billion, it'll just be all right. I mean, it's gonna be it needs to hit at least a billy. At least. Now, that's not to say it can't. I mean, the last F9 movie was trash. That was a terrible movie. And it only made, I want to say, 700 something million dollars, 730, something like that. But that 700, I mean, to its credit, that was a lot of money during the pandemic, like when nobody was really going out. But the movie before that, Fast 8, like that did hit a billion. That hit a billion. So, whoo, man, listen, the stakes are high with this. And I think the challenge is the fact that not only did your last movie not do so well, who knows if that quality is going to attract people to come back to the theaters and watch it. Now, don't get me wrong, we're 10 movies deep, right? Or 9 movies deep, and this will be the 10th one. And they're going to end the whole finale or the whole series after Fast 11. So maybe just off of that pure investment, since we're 11 movies or 9 movies invested already, maybe that's enough to draw people back in. But I don't know. Because I'm scared to walk into another Fast 9 and have a repeat of all that happen again. So I don't know. Do y'all think that I don't know why this movie is so expensive. Like, what are you paying for? What are you paying for? How many cars are you about to throw real cars into space? Like, what are you doing with this movie? What? Even the actors. Why? For what? Like, if y'all would have just kept your production costs low, and if you just kept the story, I don't know, decent, you'd make a higher profit. But now, I don't know, like, they must have some kind of weird, crazy stunt that's going to defy all logic, not adhere to science or physics or whatever. I don't get it. But I know y'all finna watch it and y'all gonna be there with top dollars. So you guys let me know. Do y'all think is Fast X is gonna make a billy? And do you think it has the potential? I know we haven't seen a trailer or nothing yet, but do you think it has the potential to make maybe 1.5 and really be a success? Let me know in the comments, because I'm still thinking to myself, like, man, unless y'all bringing The Rock back, I don't know if this is gonna happen. Because to me, The Rock was the main thing that was money. Every time The Rock came in, the money went higher and higher and higher. I don't know if Jason Momoa, I don't know if he can replace that Rock energy. I know they all, Hawaiian, Samoan, Pacific, Asian. I know that. I get that. I don't think it's the same though. Anyway, I know y'all can't wait to see it. So y'all let me know how y'all feel, and if this movie's gonna do what y'all think it's gonna do. I had some comments. Let me grab that real quick. There we go. Buzz, what you got? How is Marvel recasting General Thunderbolt Ross to get Red Hulk, but not a continuation of T'Challa? Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Recast T'Challa. By the way, let's try and keep the spoilers out, just in case if there are, for whatever reason, anybody who still has not seen the movie yet. So let's hold off on spoilers. We'll talk about it later. But Buzz, I got a whole video. Actually, I got 2 videos on my channel that talk about that. That in my opinion have established the cognitive dissonance that happens when you recast one but you don't recast the other. Because I've seen other people try to make the arguments and say, well, they're not the same character. Well, they're not as important. Well, one's a lead and one isn't. Well. Stop it. Because at the end of the day, I don't care if it's a lead character. I don't care if it's a supporting character. Why do you recast? You recast because the character and their story are important. And you find value in continuing that story. So, if there's no value in continuing the story, you're not going to recast. It's that simple. When there are actors or characters that like for whatever reason, just don't work out. I don't know. Maybe the actor gets in trouble, or maybe fans just don't like them, or maybe they pass away. If that character and their story are no longer significant, you're not going to continue it. You're just going to be like, we killed them off, or that character moved away. That character is gone now. And then you just move on. But if you want that story to continue, you put somebody else in there, and guess what? Everybody rolls right along with it, as we've always had. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. Go check out my channel. I got 2 videos that talk about this extensively, and prove, in my opinion, logically, that it was definitely a contradiction, and it is a double standard. But it depends also on like how you define whatever they did at the end of the movie. But anyway, that's a different conversation. Didier, what you got? We haven't seen a hostile video in a while. Bro, like I mean, should we be worried? You know what I'm saying? Because y'all remember Vin Diesel would just holding people up in a headlock, like, say how good the movie is. Now say how good I am. Like oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, we have not had a hostage video from Vin in a minute. I mean, didn't he grab like some little old lady? Like he was, man, Vin did not care. Vin was like, anybody and anyone is about to promote this movie. Okay, grandma, daddy, cousin, whoever, all of y'all finna come and y'all gonna support this movie. Whoo-wee. My goodness. Let's see. um you know what? Let me let me go ahead and answer this real quick. So, what's going on, Andre? So, I did a podcast with For All Nerds, and let me just say, shout out to For All Nerds, right? And you said here that you don't know how I sat through this panel and seemed like they were brought there to ambush me. No, there was no ambush. One thing that and let me give you just some context, right? So I came on there to do I was invited on there to do a spoiler review of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, right? Like I was part of the panel. Now, they brought me on there because they knew I would have a contrasting opinion. And sometimes I agree, So it was definitely not an ambush. Now, I think what you're referring to is when they were, pressing me on Recast T'Challa. Now, before that conversation, one of them already told me, like, E-Man, I'm coming for you. I was like, bring it. I ain't scared of you. Like it's all good. But here's the thing, like, that invitation to come on and talk about and review the movie, that was the reason why I was brought on there, right? So even though I knew, and they were joking that they were coming after me and pressing me, that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think people understand. Well, y'all might not notice, but like part of my academic training when I was in seminary school, a lot of my training for like 10 years was in religious studies, right? And like not only did I do religious studies, but I also did Christian apologetics. And if for those of you that don't know, that means basically having a defense, a logical defense for Christianity and so on and so forth. So debate and discourse in uncomfortable situations or uncomfortable subject matter, that's something I've done for like over 10 years. Like I have no problem talking to other people that vastly disagree with me. I have no problem talking with other people that hate me or hate my ideas or whatever, like it's nothing new for me, but the reason why I go on to those platforms is because, one, as a blurred, as a black nerd, I love the fact that we can have different opinions about things and still love the content at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And the I have to say, especially like everybody that's been on for all nerds has been courteous. They've been kind to me. We talk on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're cool. Matter of fact, they keep asking me to come on here, and I'm like, oh, man, I ain't trying to have no hostile environments around here. But I think one of these days, I think I'm gonna have to bring somebody in and invite them. But the thing is, I would want it to be a dedicated time and space. Like, I don't want to just bring them on here and people just fight and like, no, we're gonna have a conversation when that time comes. But no, I never felt disrespected. I never felt like they were jumping me or nothing. I can hold my own. I'm fine. If somebody don't agree with me, that's fine with me. But at the end of the day, one thing that I've always liked to do is I would prefer to go in a more hostile environment than stay and talk to, and preach to the choir. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's actually more effective to go somewhere and convert people to whatever your position is, rather than talking to people that already agree with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's no slight to, anybody here or nothing like that. But yeah, if I want more people, let's say for Recast T'Challa, I'm gonna go where they don't agree with it, because I might get some more people to be like, oh, I never heard it like that. Oh, you're making sense. Now we can bring them on over, bring them on to our side. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I just wanted to kind of address that, because I know some people were kind of like talking to me about it online, and they was like, man, why you go on their platform? And I'll go to anyone who has a differing opinion and who's willing to give me the space to talk. I'll be there. I will be there. So that's why. But anyway, like I said, shout out to For All Nerds. They don't have to invite me. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be honest. They don't have to, but they do. And that's mad respect to them. And I gotta extend the favor and bring them on here. But I know it probably wasn't, like as much as some people would like, but it's okay. It's all good. Trust me, it's all good. Let's see. Labanto, thank you so much. Hey man, can't wait for that 100K. Oh, we so close. We so close. Look, I don't even be really looking at views, numbers, and stuff like that, because I get on here and I just do this just for y'all. Like, I love the content. I love to talk to y'all. But I ain't gonna lie, it ain't gonna be too bad if I can hit that 100K. So we real close. Listen, I don't even know what I'm at now, but like, look, if y'all got my, like, I don't know, 50, 52 friends, 53 friends, tell them to come, no, it ain't even 50 something. I'm sorry. 500. I'm bad at math. Yeah, if y'all got about like 500 friends, whatever, tell them to come on, come and subscribe, hit up the channel. Listen, they don't even have to watch the videos. Just tell them to subscribe and just leave it alone. Yeah, I ain't even gonna bother them. I ain't gonna bother them. Play this stuff in the background. That'll work just fine. But thank you so much for contributing to the channel, supporting it that much. I really, really appreciate you. Let's see. Hold on. Dorian, what you got? Hard fact: T'Challa, besides dying, actually sat on the throne for maybe a year. Who remembers a ruler who served 1-2 years in the long run? Good question. I'm actually gonna do, a video about that as well. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, that will be coming up very soon. Let's see. Ty, oh, thank you, Ty, for the super sticker. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you. Always coming through with it. DJ, what you got? Thank you for representing the Recast group wisely and respectfully through the years. They be trying to make us out as a hate group when majority of us don't feel that way at all. Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for just supporting and being there. Like, what do they say? You attract more bees with honey or flies with honey, whatever it is. It's tempting. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? There be times I'll be like, listen here. Let me tell you. let me tell you something about this recast T'Challa. I be getting it, but sometimes you gotta bring it down, because the one thing I actually enjoy is fighting people's perception, right? Again, this goes back to my training and seminary, apologetics, stuff like that. A lot of people think like, oh man, you're a Christian, so you're just gonna Bible thump me all day and preach to me. And I'm like, no, I'm just gonna talk to you like a human being. Like, and by the way, I'm not gonna force you to do anything. I'll be here if you want to have a conversation, but all these stereotypes you believe in, it's not me. Like I'm me, so like I found it to just be more effective that rather than feeding into people's negativity, the whole old saying, kill them with kindness, it works. You know what I'm saying? Because like when you fight people with negativity with more negativity, y'all just end up being polar opposite. You just end up going your separate ways. And at the end of the day, now that negativity done frustrated you and that person's all frustrated. Like there's nothing actually accomplished. Like there's nothing that's gained if I cuss you out. You know what I'm saying? Like I might feel better temporarily, but like, what did I accomplish? You know what I'm saying? So, and I encourage people to continue being positive with whatever message or position you're taking, because in today's social media world, people feed off of negativity so much that it makes them stop listening. And if they stop listening, what's the point of y'all even talking? What's the point of you even, because you want to be heard, right? You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be heard, but nobody's going to want to listen to anyone if we all being negative. So, for the professional trolls out there, let them troll whoever they want to troll. Do your own thing. But as for me and my household, we are going to keep it positive as much as humanly possible. Thank you for that. Q, what's going on? Side note, T'Challa's era is king. Not so great. Not wrong. Not wrong. Again, I've got a video coming out about that. But you're not wrong at all. All right, let's go with the next topic. Oh my gosh. Okay. I have told y'all I am a horror fan. I love horror movies. And when it comes to horror movies, I think that there have been two entities that have really connected and appealed to me one way or another, right? One is a director and one is a studio. And right now, it seems like we about to have a tag team dream happen right before our very eyes. And that is Jason Blum from Blumhouse is now partnering with James Wan, and they are in talks to merge their horror production companies. Let me tell you something. This right here is great. Jason Blum, Blumhouse. These are the same company that has given you the Purge movies, Paranormal Activity, Halloween, and then of course James Wan. It's the same guy who's giving you Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring, Annabelle, all of these movies. So the fact that they are putting their companies together, I love it. Now, let me give you one caveat. One caveat I have is the fact that I've said this before. James Wan is this generation's Wes Craven. Okay. So what Wes Craven was doing in the 80s and 90s, that's what James Wan is and what he can do if he directs horror. Okay. I personally, and I'm saying this as a fan of his, I personally am not a fan of his production, because what ends up happening is when he produces, he'll have great ideas, but a lot of times the directors that are chosen aren't that good. So the horror movies come out feeling kind of cheap. So because the thing with James Wan is he's mad creative. Like he's stupidly creative, right? Like this guy will come up. Like if you watch, geez, was it The Conjuring 2? I think it was one of the Conjuring movies or something like that. He will come up with other monsters, other stories that literally are like creating a cinematic universe, right, of horror, kind of like Marvel, and you'll be sitting here like, yo, where did that come from? I mean, think about it. In The Conjuring 2, like one of the scariest things was the nun. What? That scene where she was rolling around and you saw the shadow on the wall and stuff. Let me tell you, James, I cannot tell you enough. James Wan is freaking creative as ever when it comes to finding new ways to scare you and bringing in monsters you didn't even know you were supposed to be scared of. Okay. But the problem is, especially with his partnership with Warner Brothers, it's like he got so many ideas, they don't have time, you know. So I love the fact that they're doing this because Blumhouse, listen, Paranormal Activity, The Purge, even though some of them get a little whack later on, but Blumhouse, what I like about them is the fact that they are always original. They are always going to give you something that, like, it might not be huge, big budget, but damn it, it'll be something you ain't seen before. It'll be something new and invigorating and innovative. And that is a perfect combination to partner with someone like James Wan, who oozes innovation on the regular. So I am totally on board with this. I love this collaboration. And the other cool thing is, by them coming together and doing this stuff with their production companies, they don't have to be tied down to just one studio. James Wan had his nice little partnership with WB, but now he can move on. You know, if they put this together, I don't know if they call it Wan's House. You know, I don't know what they're going to call it, but if they go on, they could sell their stuff to Amazon. They could sell it to Sony. They could sell it to, WB again if they want to. They could go to Lionsgate. They could go anywhere, and we could finally get some really interesting, horror movies for the future. So I am 110% down for this. I am super interested to see what they come up with. I'm still, like I said, I'm apprehensive because I think James Wan kills it when he's a director. Producer, not as much. But anyway, you let me know. What do you think about this collab? Are you excited for it? Are you interested? Do you not even care because maybe you too scared and you don't like horror movies? All of those thoughts, let me know in the comments down below. What we got? I think we got Matthew. What you got? Sorry, I'm late. Me and little man were watching Battle of the Super Sons. I like that. That was a good show. That was a good movie. E-Man be like in Bane voice, "You merely visit the dark. I was born in it." Recast T'Challa. Recast Jason Momoa. Please do. My man needs to be Lobo. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. That's the GOAT right there. That's the GOAT. But thank you so much for that, Matthew. I appreciate you. And yeah, hey, look, Battle of the Super Sons. That was a cool little joint. That was a nice little animated movie. I like that. That was really good. Very solid. Because I mean, come on now, DC don't really be messing with those things anyway. All right, what else do we have? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I don't know about y'all, but when I was younger, I love me Escape from New York and Escape from LA. Man, y'all could not tell me nothing about that. Kurt Russell was doing his thing as Snake Plissken. I loved it. Now, I have not watched it as an adult because for me, I don't want to ruin like it's probably trash, right? Like I have no idea. I don't want to ruin that image in my head. So the fact that Snake can live rent free in my head as one of the best movies out there, I'm gonna let that ride. But listen, I still remember that scene where my man had like he was in prison. I don't know if this was New York or LA, but he was in prison and he had to make that half court shot. You know, he had to make that half court shot or else he was gonna lose. And he did it for the half court. I was like, ah! All the tension was dope. It was cool. I wanted to be Snake. I thought that was just so cool. And Kurt Russell was just amazing. But yo, it looks like, according to some reports, Kurt Russell could be returning for an Escape from New York sequel. Okay, and this is gonna come from the Scream directors. And I don't know about that. I'm just gonna say the last Scream movie I was not a fan of. I did not like it. I thought it was very remedial, very cheap, whatever. And I still don't like how they currently treating my girl Neve Campbell. not wanting to really pay her to be a lead. Justice for Sydney, okay? But outside of that, I'm here for Kurt Russell coming back for Escape from New York. We don't have any details as to like what it's going to be, what it's going to be about, or whatever. I believe they said that John Carpenter could be coming back, or either he's coming back or some. I think handled by someone else. Okay, never mind. But like either way, I'd be cool if John Carpenter could do it, but one way or another, I want this to be. I'm trying to figure out how they can do this because these movies didn't come out until like what, the 80s, 90s, maybe, if that. I don't remember. Like I said, I was very young when I watched them, but I mean, Kurt is old. And no shade to him. My man can still move around. I saw him in the Christmas movie as Santa Claus. He can still, do some things. But I'm like, yo, like the whole thing with Snake was like, my man was cool, calm, collected. You know what I'm saying? Like he was an action hero. You know what I'm saying? Like, so here's my little mini pitch. My little dang 81, 82. Golly. Yo, I wasn't even born yet. Oh wow. But my little theory, my little pitch that I would like, I wouldn't mind if they did an Escape with New York and they bring Kurt back, right? Because there's no way you can do this franchise without Snake. You have to have Snake in there. Now, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna elevate this? Because I think this was always supposed to be like in the future or something like that. Is it gonna be Escape from Earth? Is it gonna be Escape from the Milky Way, this galaxy? I don't know where they go with it, but I wouldn't be surprised. Or what I would like to see is maybe if they treated it like Blade Runner, right? So what happened with Blade Runner? We had Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford, was obviously the main character, the main actor, and all that. But when Blade Runner 2049 or whatever came out, a little old. But oh yeah, Escape from America. Yeah, that'll be it. That's a better one. But somebody said retirement home. Stop it. Uh, um, I wouldn't be surprised if they treated him like Harrison Ford in Blade Runner, right? Like he exists, and like, but it just focuses on someone else, right? It focuses on a new actor, a new character who's similar to Snake, right? Similar, and maybe Snake is the only person that's ever escaped. He's the only one that has the knowledge, and maybe this new character goes to him, kind of like how how they did in Blade Runner. Like I could see them doing that. Maybe, I don't know, but y'all let me know. Are you excited for another version of Escape from New York? Man, I'm trying to think. Like now, I'm trying to think like who they would have as like the new actor. Like, would it be a younger guy, or like who could I imagine now in that role? I don't know. But anyway, y'all let me know. Are you excited for this? Are you interested? Are you thinking about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Because I think that was I think it could be interesting. I got the feeling it's gonna go straight to streaming too. Like I don't think it's gonna be something like, oh man, let's go to the theaters, but we'll see. Ryan Gosling, that's the name I was thinking. Thank you for that. I do not want Ryan Gosling in this, by the way. But I do not want him. Please don't. Like, I don't understand why people love Ryan Gosling as much as they do. I don't get it. Like, he's a good actor, but I feel like it takes so much to get him to like emote and just have reactions. I don't know. But anyway, go home. Go home. Go home. No. Why do you want to tank the movie? Why do you want to tank the movie like this? You see how all of y'all see, look at this. Look at what y'all have done. Look at what you guys have done. All of y'all go home. Go home. Because we're not gonna do that here. Oh, Wyatt. Okay. Little daddy son action. Okay, I see that. Okay. I like where you going with it. I don't really like Wyatt like that. But I like where you going with it. I like where you going with it. Okay. You know, okay, listen. First of all, no. But if this was like 10, 15 years ago, if this was Pitch Black era, Vin Diesel would have been perfect for it. Would have been. But those days are over. All right, let's move on. What we got next? Okay, now we got Big Willie style. All right, now y'all already know Will Smith has obviously gone through his issues when it comes to the slap and all that stuff, but my man is trying to move on. He's trying to get on and do other things. He's got a movie coming out and all of that. And even though Will has had this stain on his legacy, right? Because no one's ever going to let this go. Even though he's had this, the one thing that is, at least I think, consistent is that Will Smith messed up. He had a big mistake, but at the end of the day, I don't think it defines who he is as a person, right? And because of that, I really like that this news came out. And what ended up happening was apparently Will Smith personally paid the Emancipation extras that were playing dead bodies in 100-degree weather heat. Now that is really cool. Let's see. This comes from director Antoine Fuqua, where he says Will was kind to everyone on the set. Will would go around and hug and shake hands. He had 300 something extras and military Marines. We had to stop Will from doing that because of COVID. He's funny. He's fun. We had certain extras that were the dead bodies in the graves, and he would go give them money for laying there in the heat over 100 degrees. Now, you know, they of course asked him to talk about the incident at the Oscars, and Fuqua said, I saw a different person than the one moment in time. And so my reaction was that particular moment is very foreign to me when it comes to Will Smith. I have nothing but amazing things to say about Will Smith, really genuinely. You can ask anybody that worked on the movie, they'll tell you the same. Nicest person I ever met in my life. Good. Like, I like the fact that these are the stories that we're getting for Will Smith, because I never thought that like he was just, you know, a terrible person or whatever. Like, Will had a breaking point. Okay. And I don't know about y'all. Like, a lot of us have that one moment, that one bad day that puts us completely out of character. So, no, I'm not going to throw away, I don't know, the decades of all the times everyone's been like, Will's been great, Will's been nice, just because of one moment, just because of one little tiny moment that was terrible. But at the same time, it's definitely not going to be, you know, the defining thing for the rest of his life. So I love the fact that this story came out. I think that was actually pretty cool for him. So what do you think about him paying off, you know, some of the extras and everything? I mean, they're already getting paid. He's giving them a little extra something on the side, you know, like, yo, you staying here in this like hot, swampy weather. Ooh, like, here's a little something extra. So I think that's pretty dope. But y'all let me know, what do you think about that with Will Smith? You know, helping the extras out and just being a nice guy. Let me know your thoughts. All right. So speaking of which, Will's got a movie coming out. All right. This is, how can I put this? Now, I think, especially for Black folks, okay, slave movies can be draining. Let's just be honest, you know. And if you're not Black, I just want you to understand that, like, at least for me, when I watch a slave movie, what's draining about it, what's problematic about it, is the fact that, for one, I could foresee myself in that position, because we're talking about people that were enslaved just because of how they looked. Then you have the fact that if you're Black, you're probably related to somebody, great, whoever, that was enslaved some way, somehow. So a lot of these things are rather fresh. There's still, I mean, I know, people that my grandmother knew, or that my grandmother knew, that she knew were enslaved. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that long ago, right? So, when people talk about that they're tired of these type of movies, I totally understand. You know what I'm saying? So, by the way, we are going to watch the trailer here. So if this ain't your thing, please understand, go ahead, take your time, walk away. That's totally fine. I haven't seen it yet, so I'd like to see, just because one thing, what got me curious, let me just say that. What got me curious is Will Smith was saying something to the effect of, he thought that this movie was like uplifting. He said that the story of this slave was like inspirational or something like that. So I'm like, I don't know what's inspirational or uplifting about anything in slavery. Like, I've said this from the jump. You cannot have any movie about slavery and let it have a happy ending. There are no happy endings, especially in America, when it comes to slavery, because you still have to deal with Jim Crow era, segregation, lynching. You still have more bad stuff happen. Okay. So slavery didn't just magically go away and everything was hunky dory. So I'm just more curious as to what Will Smith saw into this character. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is he's playing the slave. I think his name was Peter or something like that. But he was the slave that we all seen. We've seen it in the textbooks. We've seen it in history books or whatever, of the slave that had their back beaten, like and all scarred up, all messed up. I hope the movie doesn't get to that point where we see that, but at the same time, like, that is the most notable thing. Whipped Peter, thank you. But that is like the most notable thing about this specific slave. So I don't know. I doubt that they show that in the trailer. But at the same time, we'll see what happens. But anyway, we'll see. Let's see what this trailer is all about. Um, and react. So let's get to it. All right. So, and I also believe this is this is based on a true story. So, take all that into consideration. Let me get this banner out the way. Get out the way. All right, let's check this out.
Give thanks to God. The Lord is with us.
Oh, you doing the African accent.
What can a mere man do to me?
I will come back to you!
You walk the earth because I let you. I'm your God now.
Slaves are free. We must get to Baton Rouge through this swamp.
I don't know about this accent.
There are many ways to die in a swamp. to my family.
What if you don't come back?
Your papa is going to be back. Do not ever stop believing that.
She's persistent. Running, hiding, surviving.
I fight them. They beat me. They whip me. They break the bones in my body more times than I can count. But they never break me.
Oh, they did show it. I didn't think they was gonna show the wounds. I don't know, Big Willie. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, first of all, y'all showed the whole movie, right? Like it felt like y'all showed the whole movie anyway. I'm sorry, the accent is throwing me off. And here's the crazy thing. I went to a Q&A one time where Will Smith was there and he was answering a question about how he does his accents and stuff. And what's interesting is the fact that like Will Smith really is dedicated to nailing accents, right? Like when he did King Richard, oh my god, phenomenal movie. If you haven't watched King Richard, please do. Oh, great movie. When you put him side by side by the actual people that he's imitating, he does actually do a really good job. Like I'm talking about, this dude is so dedicated and so meticulous with his training. Like he'll sit there and be like, oh, okay, you do this with your tongue, or like, oh, well, when you talk, you breathe in and you do this, or you like, he really nitpicks and practices for months whatever accent. But at the same time, I'm not gonna lie, that accent just did not, it sounded kind of off. Now he could be 100% right. He could have done research on anyone that lived in that area from the 1800s or whatever, 1700, whatever, and he probably is 100% correct with it. I'm just saying, for me, just hearing it, I'm like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Anyway, it looks like it's beautifully shot. I think it's interesting that they went ahead and did the monochrome look, the black and white look. I think that kind of helps maybe with him, because y'all know Will is a little bit more light skinned. So maybe that kind of helped cast the image of him being a little darker. I don't think he went in there blackface. Now it was hot all day, so maybe my brother, maybe he got a tan. He could have gotten a tan too. I know if I go out in the sun for a while, I get a couple shades darker. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to go see it. It looks like I like Fuqua as a director, by the way. So Fuqua is cool. It looks like they shot this to be a beautiful piece, but the subject matter, I don't know. Like, so I I'll know when the time comes. When the time comes, I'll see how I'm feeling. I might watch it, I might not. It is sad that he has his whole Academy situation going on, because boy, does the Academy love them some slave movies. A slave movie. Ooh, and you a Hollywood actor. Oh, we gonna eat that right up. But now I got a feeling a lot of Hollywood is gonna be conveniently skipping over this. I would not be surprised because a lot of people are still in their feelings about Will anyway. But we'll see what happens. Y'all let me know. How did you feel about the trailer? How did you feel about Will's interpretation? How did you feel about just the vibe that this is having? I mean, we did see him joining the Union Army and he's fighting, so it looks like he's free-ish. But let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. All right, let's scroll back up. I had a couple I don't want to skip. Hold on. Okay, I think I'm caught up. There we go. Matthew, what you got? I'm still a fan of Will Smith. His Oscar moment didn't bother me. Yeah, I'm still a fan too. Like, the man can still act. Did nobody say you got to be his friend? But I still think he's actually, a nice guy, at least from what I've seen, from what I've read. I don't think that one little thing is gonna mess him up, but we'll see. Oh my gosh, Marcus coming through. Thank you, brother. My goodness, that is so generous of you, man. Thank you so much. Let's see. One time for the replay gang. Shout out to the replay gang. Love you, E fam, E Vengers. Catch you on the flip. By the way, I watched Black Panther Wakanda Forever 2 times now. It's visually stunning, and dang, this uncomfortable compromise got me in mourning and confused as heck. Any predictions on how they're going to handle that potential? Well, we will talk about that later. I was trying to keep away from any spoilers or anything like that, just for the people that haven't watched it. But I actually will talk about that a little bit later, where people will have more time to avoid potential spoilers. So one more time, let's try and avoid any spoilers just for people. I mean, look, after this week, that's done. Like, if y'all ain't watching in 2 weeks, I'm sorry. But thank you so much for that. Hold on to that thought. I will address it later on when I do talk more about when we get to the Black Panther conversation. But thank you, brother. I really appreciate you. Gary Jones, thank you so much. Just jumped in to send some love. We'll definitely be replay gang. Thank you so much, Gary. All good. Definitely appreciate you watching now or later. Let's see. Black Cinema, what you got? Give him the Oscar. I don't care about the slap. I don't think anyone will. And forgive him on the accent email. I can listen, like when you watch one of these things, like I watched Concussion. When I watch them, tell the truth. Like, you get over it, like when you're watching the movie. It's just this trailer, like I didn't know what to expect. So when he hit me with that, I was like, this sounds awkward, but I'm sure you get over it once you get into the film. And Will is a phenomenal actor. Like, Will is one of those actors that really makes you believe whatever he wants you to believe with his characters. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it depends on my mood one day. Maybe I want to watch it, maybe I won't. I don't know. But thank you so much. I honestly, I don't know. Even though he is still eligible to receive Oscars, he can still get the awards. He just can't attend, right? So, but from what I keep hearing from all the Academy members, it sounds like they still have a grudge against him or whatever. But we'll see what that's for. It's interesting how they have a grudge against him, but not other people with even worse records. But another conversation. Matthew, hard pass for me. Stop watching slave movies after Roots. Why the accent? I mean, the accent could be integral to the character. I'll be honest. I don't know anything about Whip Peter. Like, I don't, outside of the images that we've seen that were very popular, I don't know, like, maybe there's some background to him. Maybe there's a reason why he has an accent. Maybe his parents were African and they passed and he learned English. I don't know. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe hopefully the movie sheds a little bit more light, and I'll probably do a little research afterwards anyway. Nelson, Will Smith should have done a movie on how Black Wall Street and Greenwood, Tulsa started and ended, not watching movies about enslavement. Yeah, listen, I'm here for that. I mean, I saw an earlier comment. Sorry, I couldn't catch you, but like the Mansa Musa, like, give me that. The richest man in the world at the time, like a black man in Africa. Like, give me that. I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you think I appealed so much to T'Challa? You know, a black man that's a superhero and the king of a country and all of that, and he's the richest. You know what I'm saying? Like those type of things, I'm here for that. And yes, I agree. I would not mind seeing more positive stories, you know, and all that. But I mean, even with Tulsa, man, I mean, the Tulsa massacre and all that stuff, that might piss me off too. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, right after slavery, there are no happy endings. You know what I'm saying? Like you still have things like Tulsa. So even though slavery obviously is like, in my opinion, much worse, like my goodness, like Tulsa is not that far off from also being traumatic, you know, but I wouldn't mind stories like that coming out for educational purposes so people can stop acting as though like that was in the past. No. What happened in the past informs the future and informs the present. Like this is why things are the way they are, because things happened back then and never changed, or they only changed superficially and not fundamentally. So anyway, you know, like how slave catchers that and police y'all not ready for that. Anyway, let's see. Mo, thank you so much. I don't like slave movies, but I get why they make them. Some people don't read, and this is how they get their information. It wasn't a choice. Yeah, I mean, that's been my frustration with movies. This is one of the reasons why whenever a movie says based on a true story or tries to be historical, you know, in terms of like what it's presenting, it's one of the main reasons why I'm like, wait, like if you're going to give us a history lesson, you better be accurate, you know. And like this is one of my issues with the Woman King. I don't have a problem with the fact that the Woman King is based off of like an actual historical thing, but like, you know, group and all that. But they took some creative liberties. So like it's not something you can go write a paper on, you know, and be like, oh yeah, this is historically accurate. No, it's a lot of stuff in the movie is fictional, you know, even though it's based off of real people and a real group in Africa. But you're right. It's sad that some people will watch these things and that's all they got. You know, they won't crack open a book because, you know, the movie's gonna do it for them. So that's why I just hope the movies do the history justice, and at least make sure that they don't get too wild with the creative liberties. Thank you, Mo. Kano, this may be a hard pass for me. Slave movies just sit weird for me. You're not alone. You're not alone. I totally understand that. So yeah, I'm totally with you on that. And yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. Tony, what you got? What are your thoughts on producer Avi Rod blasting Sony and Marvel, saying that they just did it for the money? And is he just pissed off that he's not involved in the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies? So I kind of like read about that a little bit. So Avi is like, you know, he's responsible for some of the greatest movies, like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man series and all of that. So he's been in the game for a while. I don't know if he's bitter or not. I don't have enough information to judge people's motives or agendas or however they're feeling. But he said that you know, Sony doing their partnership with Marvel was all for the money. So what's your point? And what isn't for the money? Like when I read his comment, you know, on the page, I was like, duh. Sony clearly didn't know what they were doing, you know, after they tried Amazing Spider-Man with Garfield. And it was not making the money that it could and should have. And yeah, they joined forces together. And I would argue they did a good job. They brought in Tom Holland, they joined together, and guess what? They made their money and they kept making more money. And the last Spider-Man movie during a pandemic made like over $1 billion. So yeah, they did it for money. What else are movies supposed to do in Hollywood? You know, like most movies in theaters are for money. I don't know. That's just weird to me. But yeah, but thank you for that. Yeah, his comment was just kind of like, duh. Let's see. Eric, did you hear about the Stallone comment about Creed 3? Oh man, Eric, you late, man. You got to go back to the last go back to the last live. We talked about it last week. But yeah, we talked about it for sure. I do have it. If you go back to the last live from last week and look in the description, just look at Creed 3 Beef or something like that. But yes, we did talk about it over there. Just go hop on and check out the last video for that. Kano, I can actually get behind a movie about Tulsa or the town that they burned to make Central Park, because a lot of people never heard those stories. See, now that's what I'm talking about. Like, even though some of these stories can be traumatic, if it is educational and if hopefully it leads to people acting and doing better, I'm for it at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll take that moment of being uncomfortable if it's going to bring about positive change, you know. But if we're just doing it just to do it because torture, you know, or whatever, then I can't get down with that at that point. So I'm with you on that. I think that's definitely on point. Let's see, Mamba, what you got? I read an article online that said Winston Duke wanted to portray a movie on Marcus Garvey. Oh, okay. I'm if that's true, great. I don't know if it might be the article that we about to talk about later, but I got no problem with that. Like, do it. You know, I hope that is I hope that's the case. You know, why not? We could always use a little bit more you know, information on those type of black figures. So I'm down with that. Let's see. You know, let's do this one real quick. There was an article that came out, and basically they were saying that like Marvel and comic book fans are feeling all this fatigue, franchise fatigue. Let's see. Let me just pull this up here. According to this, Marvel fans showing franchise fatigue, while DC fans are more likely to prefer single superhero universe, says a new study. So let me just say, and I made a video about this a long time ago. Franchise fatigue is not a real thing. It's not. And it's a myth that when people say like, oh, I'm tired of these I'm tired of these Marvel things. I'm tired. No, you're not. You're not tired of the franchise. What you're tired of is mediocrity. What you're tired of is not having your expectations met. What you're tired of is when they fall below the bar of quality. We don't have problem. You never hear fan fatigue, comic book movie fatigue, superhero movie fatigue. You never hear this when it comes to movies that we think are great. Never. I've never heard when Black Panther came out, when Infinity War came out, when Endgame came out, when Dark Knight came out, when the trilogy came out, when Logan came out, I ain't heard nobody sit here talking about, I'm so tired of comic book movies. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. You were tired when the Fantastic Four movies was trash. You were tired when like a lot of those other, like when Spider-Man 3 was like terrible. You were tired when those movies did not live up to the mark or expectation that we had. That's what that was. It's not because, oh my gosh, like who's gonna complain about, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of great movies? You're not. Now, here's the thing. Phase 4 of Marvel, if we're gonna stick with Marvel, phase 4 of Marvel, it is very subpar. They've had a couple hits. I would say Shang-Chi was a good movie. I would say Spider-Man No Way Home is probably one of the best ones. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, it depends on who you are. Some people think it's a great movie, some not so much. I'm kind of in the middle, you know, but the rest, Thor Love and Thunder, you know, Eternals, you know, Black Widow, you know what I'm saying? Like that has not been as entertaining compared to where we came from. Coming off of phase 3, phase 4 is trash if you compare the two. Okay, I'm talking about just comparing the two phases. Phase 3 set the bar so high. Anything else was not going to live up to that, and it was downhill from there. That's just how that's just the nature of the beast. And as Kevin Feige has said, phase 4 is all about introductions. Guess what? So was phase 1 of Marvel. And if you go back to phase 1 of Marvel, outside of Iron Man and Avengers, it was kind of mid too. Phase 1 was not all that hot. It was like the movies were okay, but the difference was our expectations were different. So when our expectations for phase 1 were like, what are y'all doing? Like, oh, Iron Man. Oh, okay, that's cool. Thor, okay. Captain America, all right, all right. Hulk, all right, I guess. Avengers, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like our expectations were so low and so all over the place. Phase 1 was not that big of a deal, but the problem is phase 4. When you compound all the extra stuff that we're doing, it's an overload. I think it's an overload of midness, right? Because what ends up happening is not only do we maybe kind of sort of get a movie that might hit, we're getting more that don't really resonate, and we're being introduced to characters that we don't have connections with yet. And on top of that, you got a whole lot of Disney Plus all in the middle. We don't have time to breathe. Now, I would argue that had these shows been the very beginning of the MCU, I'm saying, like, if we just started from scratch, we didn't even have Endgame, we didn't have Infinity War, we didn't have none of that stuff, all of phase 4 might be perceived and received differently. It might, because we wouldn't have those expectations. But because we do, because we've been treated, because we've been spoiled with all the rich goodness that we had before, now we like, man, I'm tired. What is this? Who is Kamala Khan? Get out of here. She-Hulk, man, whatever. Eternals? Eternal what? Eternal boredom? No, like now we don't have time because we just came off of something great. So for me, I don't really believe in all the ideas of fatigue and stuff. I think that the fatigue is really just there because you haven't been entertained. But when you entertain, who's tired of having fun? I ain't never heard somebody say, oh my God, this is too much fun. I'm done. No more. I'm tired of excitement. Pleasure. No thanks. Joy. Not for me. Who does that? Who does that? Nobody. Okay. So look, let's fully acknowledge phase 4 has fallen below our expectations. And because of that, and because let's be honest, phase 4 is long. What was that? 3 years? 4 years? 4 years of mediocrity is going to feel tiresome. That's how it feels. But guess what? You'll be all right. Because it's only going to get bigger and better and better. And guess what? I guarantee you, let me not guarantee because I don't know what's going to happen. But I would not be surprised if when Secret Invasion comes out, Kang Dynasty comes out, Secret Wars comes out, and all of a sudden you don't hear a peep about fatigue. I would not be. Let's put out an alert. But just put out an alert for when those movies come out. Are we going to hear about fatigue at that time? Let's put a bookmark in that. Anyway, what else does this article say? I liked how they divided up the fandom and stuff. They said that there are advocates. These are the people that are core fan base, described as deeply invested in the IP. It's just who they are. They are most likely to watch the content within the first few days of its release. And these would include people that love Marvel, Rick and Morty, Harry Potter, Star Wars, DC, Stranger Things. Well, I think it's easy to say I'm probably an advocate because I'm there first day. So that's me. Let's see what else they got. They got intentionalists. These are the fans that make up the average of the largest segment of the fan base. They're discerning, they're influenced by marketing and strong reviews, storytelling themes, and actors and filmmakers behind the project. They'll most likely watch it within maybe the first 2 weeks, right? Franchises with a high number of intentionalists include Sex Lives of College Girls, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, The Handmaid's Tale, Game of Thrones, and Only Murders in the Building. Okay, first of all, I do not believe that intentionalists are Game of Thrones fans. First of all, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you watching that the day it come out because you don't want everybody else to spoil it for you. So I don't know about that. But I do think that you can have this badge on different titles, right? So like I might be a Marvel advocate, but I might be a DC intentionalist, or I might be a Star Wars intentionalist, or something like that. So I think it does. I don't think it's just like a one size fit all. I think it does depend on the actual franchise, right? Let's see. Then you got culturalists. They're generally heavily influenced by the buzz surrounding a popular release and watching an opportunity to connect with friends and family. Okay, so they just go out there for the fun of it. These are the casuals. I think that's what we call them, as the casuals. You'll watch the Ted Lasso's, True Detective, The Challenge. Okay, then the flirt. Oh, the flirt. Okay, as the name implies, these are the dabblers who are most interested in entertainment they can come in and out of. They will allow them to find common ground with others around them. They'll most likely watch when they have time. These are the people that like The Office, SpongeBob, Gilmore Girls, South Park, and Friends, and The Bachelor. Okay, all right, yeah, the flirts. I think those are the extreme casuals. In my opinion, those are the aunties, the uncles, the cousins, your mama, your daddy. These are the people that like. All right, who's gonna be in the movie? Oh, Tom Cruise. I think I like Tom Cruise. All right, let's go watch that. Like they just. You got to pull them in to go watch something. So anyway, this is this is interesting. I don't like these terms. I think these terms are kind of whack, like advocate, intentionalist, and culturalist, like whatever. First of all, we got diehards, okay. We got the casuals, okay. Then we got the non-fans, just the randoms, the general audience or whatever. But yeah, I don't know about all this other stuff. But anyway, I don't know. Where do you fit with some of these categories in different shows or movies or franchises? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But yeah, fan fatigue is not a thing. Anywho, let's move on. Oh man, we got a lot of DC updates coming up. So we talked about this before, where basically DC is they've revamped. All right, like look, Zaslav has come in. My man has cleaned up house. He's canceled Batgirl, but he has also put out a plan. He got a strategy now. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, I'm tired of losing. WB been out here losing. DC been losing, and we need to make this better. We about to focus on things that go to theater. We got the game. We got like the top players in the game with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. We about to make some changes. And we also saw that he also got Peter Safran and James Gunn, right? Like that when their powers combine, they are DC's Kevin Feige. That's what James Gunn and Peter Safran are, basically, where Gunn is taking care of the creative and Safran's going to take care of all the, production stuff and movie making, which is great to me, because one of the things that I had an issue with, now some people have asked me, like, yo, do you have aren't you excited that James Gunn is running DC? And my thing is this: I can't be excited because I've seen this happen before, right? I've seen it happen where a director has been given the keys to the kingdom and they run it into the ground. Joss Whedon, did he not have the keys to the kingdom after he did Avengers and he started to do all this other stuff? He started to do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and it kind of went down. It came back, but it started to go down. It just didn't work out. And Marvel had to pull back from that. Who else was it? Zack Snyder. Sorry. But My man started, and it got too big for his britches. It was too big for him, and all of a sudden, all these ideas were coming out, and all these different things, and the movies didn't do that well. The movies underperformed. Now, obviously, there were other factors involved. You had the studio interference, you had all these other things, and all that. But the approach of, hey, you're a director, and hey, you made a good movie, now be our Kevin Feige, that wasn't a great idea. But however, now that WB has doubled, has created a two-headed monster, now they've brought some balance. Now they're like, okay, no, we want that creative side from James Gunn, but we also want that guy that has the industry knowledge as well with Peter Safran. We're gonna put y'all together. That is a smart idea. That is something I'm interested. I'm not excited, but I'm interested in seeing how that goes, because now y'all are taking basically the best of both worlds that Kevin Feige's mastered. Because Kevin Feige is a unicorn. I don't think people realize this is a guy who's a nerd first. Okay. He builds Star Wars ships by hand. He's a nerd. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a nerd too, but he's a super nerd. Okay. And he loves the comic characters. He loves the stories. He knows them like the back of his hand. And that is not something every other industry person can say or do. And the guy grew up working under Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve, Superman, and all that. Worked on all the X-Men movies and Fox and stuff. He knows how to make these movies, right? The guy is like perfectly trained in both disciplines of comic knowledge and resources and making movies. And now by having DC have Gunn and Safran together, I think they're doing a similar approach. But listen here, Zaslav ain't playing, y'all. My man came in and he was like, let me tell y'all something. First of all, we about to clean house. Okay. We're not about to do all this nonsense that the former WB people was doing, where you had like all these different versions of this and this and that. First of all, we about to get rid of all these dang on Batman. Okay. He was like, all them Batman, no. We done with that. That's over now. Okay. What did he say here? I think over the next few years, you're going to see a lot of growth and opportunity around DC. There's not going to be 4 Batmans. And so part of our strategy is to drive the hell out of DC, which James and Peter are going to do. I think they've thrilled the fans. I think they're going to thrill you over a period of time. Okay. I like this. I like what you're going, because listen, it was confusing. We got this Batman over here, then Batfleck over there, then Michael Keaton coming back over here. And it's like, bro, what are we doing? Where are we going? What is this? Does this count? Does that count? And I mean, like, there were a lot of people that are like, wait, so if you're bringing back Batfleck, does that mean that Snyderverse continues? Oh, wait, but it doesn't. But wait, does it? Like, yo, stick to one lane. And that's apparently what they're planning to do. Not too long ago, James Gunn did post on his social media where he was like, yo, what characters would y'all like to see bring to life? And he actually brought up Mr. Terrific. Like he just posted it just out of nowhere. So I'm down for that as well. Mr. Terrific, super smart, very interesting character that could come out sometime soon. I'd be looking forward to that. But speaking of James Gunn, he also came out recently and said that there were going to be plans that were going to be revealed to WB in 2 months. So a report from The Wrap indicated that James Gunn and Peter Safran would share their long-term DC plans within the next 2 months. A fan asked James Gunn about the validity of this report, which he ended up saying it was true, but with a caveat. Instead of a new slate of DC movies being announced 2 months from now, the plan is for Peter and James Gunn to share their roadmap for the future with WB at that time. I like it. I'm just, for a long time, one thing that has been lacking with DC has been direction. That's it. We had no idea who was. It felt like one person's doing this, another person doing that. Then we got a spinoff over here. Then we got a TV show over here. But then we got 15 Jokers, 500, Batman, no Superman, Wonder Woman falling off. Like, yo, what? Ezra Miller terrorizing people. We got the Flash being a domestic terrorist. Like, what is going on at DC? But now, you got at least two heads coming together and saying, we about to come together with a plan. So I'm interested. Like, here's the thing. You can have a plan, and that's great. But you still need to execute. But the sad thing is the fact that because DC has not had a plan for so long, it's encouraging just to hear we have a plan. It's almost as brilliant. It's almost as exciting as Star Wars, having that brilliant strategy. Let's get it right. So, yes, this is gonna be something. I'm happy to hear James Gunn has a plan in the first place. I'm happy to hear that he is working with Peter to like come together with that plan and to share it with WB. I think this is exactly why they were hired. James Gunn has learned. I don't think you can learn everything from Kevin Feige, but I think you can learn elements of it. Because even Kevin Feige has said, like, yo, don't copy me. And that's not from arrogance. It's really, if you think about it, he's like, don't copy me because I'm not using a formula, and that's something that for people in Hollywood, they get allergic to that. Like, what do you mean you're not using a formula? Movies are made a certain way, like, but the MCU is not like anything else. This is why, like, when people try to compare the MCU with like other movie franchises and stuff, it's like, it sounds silly. Oh, well, Marvel's just gonna reboot. When? Why? They don't have to. Why would they reboot? You know who reboots? Studios that don't know what to do, or studios that don't have connected universes. Marvel doesn't have to play by the old rules. And if you really look at the history of Marvel, they change up all the time. They change their strategies all the time. They used to hire directors and give them the keys to the kingdom. They stopped that with Joss Whedon. They used to hire actors and sign them on for like 10, 15 picture deals. We stopping that right now too. Like, they change over time with how they approach things. Now they're getting into making series and turning those into movies and stuff like that. It's not conventional. So, you can only learn so much from them. And I'm glad that Gunn has learned enough so far. And I'm interested to see where it goes. Now, here's the one thing I'll say about the plan that I'm concerned with. And that is with James Gunn, because James Gunn is brought in to be the creative side, right? He loves the obscure characters that probably people have never heard of, right? He loves those characters. And the thing is, to his credit, he makes us care about those characters. He's really good at that. He's really good at bringing the humanity out of a character and making that character relatable. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he got people teary-eyed over Groot or a raccoon is a big deal. You know what I'm saying? That's really good on his part. So my concern though is you had to do that for Marvel, because Marvel at the time didn't have all the rights to their characters. That ain't the case with DC. DC got all their characters. Not only do they have all their characters, they got the heavy hitting characters. So my question is really like, yeah, that's great that you want to do Mr. Terrific. Shout out to him, but he's not a top tier character. That's great that you like Lobo. That's recast Jason Momoa, but he's still not a top tier character. What you finna do with your top tier characters? What you gonna do with your Trinity? You got Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. What you gonna do with them? That is the real question. Because if you can't win the game with your big franchise players, I don't care about your little G League recruit. I don't care about these. I mean, that's great. I'll watch them. But I need to see. Y'all got the big guns. Y'all need to set the tone. There's no reason why whatever the next Justice League movie is, I don't care who it is, what it is. If the next Justice League movie does not hit $1 billion, it's a failure. Throw all of DC away. If your Justice League movies cannot make $1 billion at minimum, throw everything out. It's literally like having the all-star Olympic team and y'all can't score more than 60 points in basketball. You got Steph Curry, you got, KD, you got Kyrie, you got LeBron, you got all these players, and y'all can't score more than 60 points? Go home. Go home. So all I know is the plan I hope to hear from James Gunn, and I don't know if we'll be privy to it. I hope it's got something to do with Justice League. I hope it's got something to do with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. You can bring everybody else in. Bring in Icon. Bring in Green Lantern. Bring in Mr. Terrific. Bring them all in. But damn it, you better do something with the top dogs first. So let's see. Why did I say that and forget this next topic? So, speaking of Superman, delayed. Oh, man. So, we already heard about Henry Cavill coming in, Black Adam, announcing he's back. But apparently, there's some setbacks to his possible return. Now, this says, according to this report, according to numerous insiders with knowledge of the situation, although it has been previously reported that the search for a writer was currently underway for Man of Steel 2, the fact is there's currently no writer or director attached to the project, and there's currently no formal deal with Cavill to return. All right. Let me just say that it's a shame that the former executives wasted Henry Cavill's time. I like Man of Steel, but I have issues with it as well. Like, I didn't like some of the creative decisions they made with it, but I like it. I love Henry Cavill as Superman. I think he plays that role perfectly. And he got the look. Like, dude looks like Superman even when he doesn't have a cape and cowl on. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like how Christopher Reeve looked like Superman because this guy looked like Superman, right? It's been 9 years since your last Superman movie. 2013, if I'm not mistaken. You about to go 10 years and you ain't got a Superman movie? Superman like your number one player. Superman was created to be the definition of all superheroes. And you got a whole superhero franchise and you took 10 years to make another Superman movie? Why don't y'all like money? Y'all don't want to make money? Didn't we just talk about the whole purpose of having these companies in Hollywood is to make money? Now, in fairness, Superman ain't the franchise player. He's one of them. He a starter. The real franchise player is Batman. Okay, let's not get it twisted. The real moneymaker is Batman. But that don't mean you just put Supes to the side like that. You still need to put some respect on Supes' name. There would be no Batman if it wasn't for Supes. I need them to go ahead and put some respect on him. Now, as for this report, I'm not going to say the report is wrong, but I am going to say that it's a report full of hot air, right? It's a whole lot of nothing. The previous report that it's talking about was, and we talked about this, that Zaslav and the people at WB are like, look, we are looking for a writer. What does that mean? We're looking for a writer. Maybe they looked on LinkedIn. I don't know, but they're looking. And then when they come in here and say, there's currently no one attached and they haven't found anyone, maybe because they're still looking. Or it also sounds like maybe they're in negotiations, because I guarantee, like, if we wait, I don't know, a week or two or a month, and all of a sudden, boom, Henry Cavill signs that deal, it's a whole different story. So I don't know. I'm not really buying. I'm not really gonna put too much stock into this. I think it's just kind of like reporting something just to report it. Now it'd be different if you were to say something like, WB is not interested in a Superman movie. That would be news. But to just say that nothing's happened and it hasn't moved on. Okay, whatever. Anyway. How do y'all feel about the current direction of DC? How are you feeling of where they're going with this? The direction. How do you feel about James Gunn and Peter Safran kind of like coming together? How do you feel about the fact that we not about to have multiple Batmans running around and we just gonna have one? I still need to know, like, which Batman we sticking with. Is it Robert Pattinson? Is it Michael Keaton? Is it Ben Affleck? Is it a new one? I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I would not mind if they kept Keaton. And the reason why I wouldn't mind that is because, one, I've told you, I think Michael Keaton is like, he's my personal GOAT. He's my personal GOAT. I would love for him to be introduced so that he could play the old Batman and we could get Terry McGinnis and we can get Batman Beyond and let that Batman Beyond come in and play. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you watch Batman Beyond, you know what I'm talking about. So I wouldn't mind if they did that. So, like, obviously he's not going to jump in the suit and start kicking butt like he used to. I'm just saying, let him be the old Batman, and it actually brings in the new Batman, and we go from there. But anyway, y'all let me know how you feel about all the DC stuff in the comments down below. All right, let's move on. Y'all know. Okay, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give them some credit. Y'all know Sony got the rights to Spider-Man, and they're trying. Okay, they're trying. They gave y'all more. They gave y'all Venom. Then they gave y'all Venom 2. And y'all ate it. Then they gave you Morbius 2 times. They put Morbius in theaters 2 times. But they be trying, right? They're trying so hard. But here's the thing. Now, and you know what? I'm going to give them a chance with this. It looks like they're shifting gears, okay? Rather than trying to force things down our throats with these movies that are mediocre as hell, now they're shifting over to the TV side, okay? So now there's a new Spider-Man TV universe that's coming our way, all right? So it looks like they're embracing an expansion as it welcomes a new wave of TV series featuring Spider-Man related characters such as Silk. Okay. Let's see. They've been utilizing its treasure trove of Marvel characters on the big screen for years. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. It looks like Angela Kang, I guess she was on The Walking Dead. She's going to transition over. And it's going to be something coming to Amazon. And she's going to oversee the series called Silk Spider Society. The first of a suite of live action television series based on the Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters, which includes over 900 characters. Wait a minute. Y'all got 900 characters and y'all chose Morbius? All right. So, hey, this actually looks kind of cool. By the way, Lord and Miller are going to be overseeing it. They're going to executive produce it. That's Silk right there. I don't know if you guys have known about her or anything like that. But just a little background. Her name is Cindy Moon, a Korean American bitten by the same spider that gave Peter Parker his abilities. The show is going to explore her life as she escapes imprisonment and searches for her missing family on her way to becoming a superhero, which is known as Silk. So shout out, for the Korean representation that she's going to bring, whichever actress they get for that. But I'm loosely interested. I want to see where they go with this. I mean, live action TV series, Amazon. Okay. Let's see what you got. Silk is a pretty interesting character. She's like, at least abilities wise, I know her Spidey sense is a little bit higher than Spidey's. She's a little bit faster, quicker. I think he's stronger, whatever. But she's an interesting one. Yeah, so listen, this is probably going to open the door to multiple other live TV series, as they mentioned, a whole suite of them. Honestly, when they were sitting here talking about doing what was it, the Sable, the Black Cat and all that stuff, I was like, y'all was gonna make those movies? Like, no, you have, if you're doing supporting characters that don't have name recognition, and you not putting Spider-Man in those movies, keep them, put them on TV. That's fine. We can stream them that way. By the way, Sony has messed up so bad, because I'm like, how is it that y'all own the rights to Spider-Man? I totally understand y'all doing y'all thing with Tom Holland and Marvel. I get that. Why do you not have God, I forgot his name. What is it? Miguel Herrera? Why do y'all not have 2099 Spider-Man? Like, you literally could have a Hispanic Spider-Man in the future and literally just make a whole franchise from that. What is wrong with y'all? Why don't y'all? I don't know why people don't like money. I don't know. I don't get it. You know who I'd like for this? What if they got, and I don't know if she's Korean or not, so forgive me. I was just thinking about Jessica Henwick from Iron Fist. If she could play that role, I don't know if I don't know if she's Korean or not, but I'd love to see her if she wanted to play Silk. I think she could do that, But anyway, oh my gosh, I don't understand why. But anywho, what do y'all think about this new upcoming Silk TV show and the next line of Spider-Man shows that are coming up? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Kano, what you got? Ooh, that Batman Beyond pitch right there. DC don't like money. I don't know why. Batman Beyond will be fantastic. Matter of fact, those are the type of shows. I'm not even saying you got to make that a current version or whatever. You can make those things separate, but still in universe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could say Michael Keaton just so happens to still be the old Batman, and the Batman Beyond exists, and it's not like a completely different universe. It's just in the future. So, like, in present time, you can still have Henry Cavill. You can still have, I don't know, Batfleck or Robert Pattinson. You can still have all of that stuff happen. And here's the other cool thing. Because Superman doesn't age very well, or doesn't age a lot, you could have him show up, maybe with a little powder gray, have him show up in the future with Batman Beyond. Man, y'all don't want money. I'm sorry. Y'all not ready for this. I'm sorry, WB. I'm sorry. I thought y'all wanted some money. I'm giving y'all ideas. Y'all don't. I'm trying to give y'all something that you can you can go ahead and use Henry Cavill for the future and the present. I'm sorry, I'm doing too much. All right, so let's move on. Are we here yet? Yes, we are. Okay, so all right, guys, this is the point where I told you earlier on. If you have not watched Black Panther, if you have not watched Wakanda Forever, this is the point where right down there, spoiler alert. We are going to talk spoilers. We are going to get into what happened into the movie and talk about these things in order to talk about the topics. So, spoiler alert, you see the ticker, listen, you see it. So, this is your chance. Dip out. Thank you so much. Wash your hands, wash your butts. Have a good weekend. I'm gonna get this comment, but after that, we're going to talk spoilers. So after that, I don't want to hear no complaints. Oh my gosh, why did you tell me? Oh my god. But all right, here we go. Wraith, what you got? The heroic supporting Spidey characters that they should give spinoffs are Cardiac, Puma, Prowler, the Slingers, and Silver Sable. That's what I was thinking of, and the Wild Pack. If you want to do TV series with them, fine. I wouldn't do solo things. Those, like, sometimes some characters get so obscure, it's better to just make them more of an ensemble type of thing. So like if Silk runs into the Slingers, if Prowler is teased, but it's really a setup for a Miles Morales thing. Like those type of things I think work, right? I'm fine with that. But I wouldn't go into giving everybody a solo series. That's all I'm saying. But thank you so much for that. Very good idea too. I wouldn't mind seeing a lot of that. Okay, now we are here. We're talking spoilers. So again, I don't want to hear nothing. All right. Now y'all was posting this to me and asking me, E-Man, what do you think Winston Duke was talking about? Recast T'Challa and all of this. All right. Let's get into that. Let me get the quote real quick. Okay. So we talked about this before, where Winston Duke had come on Jamel Hill's podcast, and he spoke about how because Jamel was like, look, like I've been Recast T'Challa, like I'm on team Recast, right? All right, cool. And Winston was kind of like, in so many words, he was kind of like, look, there's gonna be another T'Challa one day, maybe, kind of variants, blah blah blah. He kind of hinted at that stuff, right? Okay, cool. But here's the thing: Winston goes and there was this article on Esquire magazine, and I didn't really like how they wrote this. Like the whoever wrote it was just a little. They put a little too much spice into this, So let's read what they said, and then we'll read what Winston said before, and then we'll see what he says today. All right, just so we can have full context. I don't want to misquote nobody and nothing like that. All right, so it says here, whether or not to replace Boseman was the subject of much external debate. Hashtag Recast T'Challa trended online after a trailer for the sequel was shown at Comic-Con in the summer of 2022, while a Change.org petition tried to pressure Marvel into doing the same, suggesting that the best way to honor Boseman would be to keep his character alive without him. Pause! Minor corrections. Let's correct a couple things here. Recast T'Challa trended online prior to the trailer coming out at Comic-Con. Recast T'Challa trended in summer of 2021, give or take. Then Recast T'Challa continued to trend so much that it prompted Marvel on 2 separate occasions to come out and double down on the fact that they were not going to recast. It forced Nate Moore to say that they just weren't going to recast in the 616. Yeah, we were trending before the trailer. So much for all the research this person put into it. But it is accurate when it did drop in Comic-Con. And listen, anytime Black Panther news came out, we be trending. Okay. And what else they say? Trending online, try to pressure Marvel. Man, ain't nobody pressuring. Stop it. We're expressing our desire and our love for the character and to honor Chadwick Boseman. That's all. Did we give Marvel an ultimatum? Did we sit here in the petition and say, you better do this or we're going to harass you and spam you all day? No, none of that was there. At least not in the petition. Maybe some people do that online and that's their business, but that's not what the petition did. Pressure. Expressing your desire and your love for a character is now pressure. Okay. Anywho, let's see what else they try to set up here. Winston Duke, as well as the Black Panther creative team, didn't agree. And he addressed the decision on the podcast of Jamel Hill is Unbothered in an episode released the day prior to our meeting. Before we start axe throwing, I hear him playing chips on his phone, monitoring the reaction online. And he seems frustrated by the fans' petulance. Ooh, petulance. Ooh, that's what we on now. The decision not to hire another actor to play T'Challa was made with respect for Boseman and in a time of grief. Instead of acknowledging that, he says they, the fans, center their own need for a character when none of this would be possible if the people who brought this to life didn't participate from behind the scenes to in front of it. Time out, brother Winston. Time out. Okay. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Now, 2 things to consider here. 2 things. 1, the time that he's reading this at this point is when the trailer dropped and the movie hasn't even come out yet. That's when he's reading this. Second, he's also reacting to whatever things he's seeing online. It doesn't sound like he's read the petition. It doesn't sound like he's had a full-on conversation. I ain't never talked to him. You know what I'm saying? So if anything, he's like, oh man, this is trending. Oh man, some random person online said something or whatever. So for me, I'm not going to attack Winston Duke for reacting to something because a lot of times people will see a fragment of the conversation, a fragment of the movement of the campaign and judge everything off of just that. It happens. I'm not mad at that. It's just that's life. That's social media. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are just not going to take the time to dive in. Look at this reporter. Whoever this person is that wrote this article, they were like, oh, no, this thing only started trending when the trailer dropped. They ignored a year worth of this relevancy for the whole campaign. So I'm not mad at the fact that this is all he's reacting to. This is understandable. Now, I disagree respectfully with his assertion that we were just centering our need for a character when none of this would have been possible with the people who brought it to life. First of all, let's bring that even further back. Y'all wouldn't be possible. You would not have a job. And I'm saying this again respectfully. You would not have a job if it were not for us, the fans. If it were not for us, the fans, that paid money to keep you in the employment business in the comic book realm, you wouldn't be there. And this is again why I'm saying this. He's not wrong about the fact that it does take the actors, it does take the creative teams to give us these things. He's not wrong about that. But let's not act like it's a one-way street. Let's not act like you don't need us too. Let's not act like Marvel was about to go bankrupt because nobody was paying money to go see them in theaters. Thank you, Blade. Let's not act like we don't have a cyclical relationship that makes us work together. Now, again, I'm not going to judge this brother because right now I understand he's reacting to a sliver of information. And this is an emotional topic. It's an emotional situation. The brother has said that he's still grieving. I totally understand that. And my heart still goes out to brother Winston Duke. But I've told y'all this. I don't judge people off of, what's in their hearts or whatever. I judge you what you say, right? For him to sit here and be like, we're just being basically, he's saying we're selfish. That's essentially what his comment revolved around. That we're just thinking about ourselves and we just want our comic characters. Yeah. Listen, if you go listen to one or two random people online using a hashtag, maybe that's what they want. Maybe that's what but bro, the conversation is deeper than that. We are talking about when it comes to Recast T'Challa, and I would love to have a sit down talk with him, one day. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but like the whole point of the campaign was to talk about something bigger. Matter of fact, something that your own friend Chadwick Boseman was working towards. My man was doing that character not for the sake of just like doing it for a check. He was doing it for representation. He was doing it so that people like you could have opportunities that you have. And we didn't want to stop that momentum. We didn't want to stop that portrayal from happening because we understood how important the work you and your castmates did on screen. We love the work that you did. We love the dedication and the time that you guys put into this. We appreciated all of that. We came out in droves. I bought out theaters. Okay? So, I'm just saying, it's far from selfish. And that's the only kind of pushback I'm going to give. It's not selfish for us to want to continue something y'all started that we supported. That's not selfish. Because when I say Recast T'Challa, when I push these conversations, I'm not doing it just for me. I'm doing it for the little girl that wants to see a woman be Black Panther. I'm doing it for the little boy that wants to see a black man be king. I'm doing it for everyone that wants to see positive representation on screen. I'm doing it for your boy Chadwick, for brother Chadwick, so that his work and effort, the blood, sweat, and tears that he put into this doesn't get wasted. And it can grow and be invested later on. So it's definitely far from being self-centered. It's definitely far from being something selfish and not considerate of everyone else that's grieving. You don't think we grieve too? You don't think there are some of us that are still grieving? We're in this together. This is not an opposition type of thing. Yes, we have different opinions of how we can move forward. But we're not in combat. I've told y'all from the very jump when it came to this whole thing, this is a conversation between loved ones about a loved one. We love comic book movies. We love the comic book character. We love the actors. We have different opinions. We're not on opposing sides to the point where like antagonistic. We're on different sides in terms of our approach, but we still want the same goal. You want to honor Chadwick? So do we. You love the franchise? So do we. Like, this is family. This is love. This is respect. But again, I understand. This is what happens when you only react to like one little piece of information. This is why I've wanted this to be a conversation. Because when you have a conversation, you have a better level of understanding. So again, I'm not judging my brother, for having this reaction. I'm not going to tarnish him or attack him or anything like that. Definitely not going to do that. I got mad respect for Winston Duke. I love this brother as an actor. I think he's phenomenal. Go watch 9 Days. That's a movie that he did. I believe he produced it too. Fantastic. It's nothing but love and respect for the brother. But he's reacting. And that's fine. He's entitled to that. but I'm gonna bring a little extra to the conversation too. Okay, now let's move on because he did say a little bit more. All right, let's get to the other part of this. What's more, comic book movies play with timelines in multiple universes constantly. Spider-Man No Way Home features 3 Spider-Men. Upward to 40 people have played or voiced Batman over the past 25 years, including Duke. Yes, he is playing Batman as well. T'Challa will, in another universe or in another story, almost certainly return. Time out. Now I got to talk to the writer. Time out. Which one of them, correct me if I'm wrong. Matter of fact, I want to see who because I want to address the person directly. Hold on. I just want to get the name. All right. And it is Ms. Hunter Harris. Okay. All right. And it's a sister. Great. Cool. Love it. Which one from Spider-Man or Batman or Superman, which one of them have been threatened with never being recast? Which one of them have been killed multiple times as the same character and then been told they won't recast? I want people not to act like we were supposed to just have blind faith that, hey, it's comic books, guys, they'll come back, but act like this was not a unique situation. Because I ain't never heard, even when the most prolific story for Superman debuted, The Death of Superman, that story was so big. As a kid, I was like, Death of Superman? What you talking about, Willis? What you mean? You're not gonna kill my Superman? What you mean? That story was so profound that it made the news, the regular news. And when I heard that on the news, I was like, oh, this is serious. And then they killed Superman. I read the comic and everything. I went to Walgreens. I bought that comic. I had it. I read it. I was like, oh my God, he's dead. And guess what? 2 weeks later, Superman Red and Blue, y'all. Uh-oh, Superboy. Uh-oh, Steel. Oh, by the way, just joking. Here comes Superman in his black suit. He's all good. Okay, good. You got me there. You had me going in the first half, right? I ain't never heard of Batman dying and never coming back. I ain't never even seen Peter Parker die, except for the comics. But then they come back. I've never seen any of these popular characters die not once, not twice, but thrice. And then, even though you're right, a character can die 1 or 2 times, maybe in the comic story narrative, and maybe they could come back, sure. But I've never heard of a comic fictional character dying, and then you step outside the fiction, you step outside the narrative, you break the fourth wall, and you go into reality, and the powers that be, the creators themselves of that fictional story, say, they're done. We're not recasting. That's it. I've never seen that combination before. Could you imagine if they killed Superman and they said, and we not going to recast? Do you think it matters whether the actor died or not? Do you think it matters whether it was a contract dispute or not? You don't think people would lose their collective minds? Like, what you mean you're not about to give us another Superman? You think if they just killed off Batman and said, we're not going to continue this character no more? Oh, if you thought them fans was mad at DC for Snyder, you don't think they're going to riot? You going to take away our most popular character and you going to put cement on the coffin? No. So, respectfully, and I'm not trying to attack this sister because I don't know her. I'm just listen, I told y'all, I do not attack people personally. But I am going to talk about what she wrote. That's fair game. I'm going to talk about what you wrote. And what you wrote left important context out of it, which is we just got T'Challa. We just got moved by this super impactful character. Y'all tried to kill him one time. You killed him a second time. You killed him a third time. And now we supposed to just be like, everything is cool after you came back and said, we're not going to recast. Sorry, but the situation is fundamentally different because we're no longer sticking to death within the narrative. You also have the combination of real life from the powers that be. That's what makes this completely different. Oh, and all the other universes we talking about, he died in another universe too. And What If? Like, okay. Anyway, let's get back to the conversation. Okay. So Duke ends up saying there's no way they'll never remake Black Panther in the future. There's no way that the saga and interpretation of T'Challa, King of Wakanda, will end. He is canon. So trust that it'll come. But allow this to be a human experience. Okay. This is where I'm actually in full agreement with Brother Duke. I agree that it should be a human experience. Now, again, we can have a different difference of opinion in how that experience should be executed, because as I've said in my review, I'm not a fan of the verisimilitude of taking real life tragedy and putting it into fictional storytelling. I think it complicates things more than you think it does elevate things. When I created the petition and when I pushed Recast T'Challa, I knew that the cast and crew made a decision that they wanted to use this movie as a vehicle to express their grief and mourning. It's cathartic for them. Do you? I'm not going to judge your healing process. Now, you still made it for public consumption. You still put it in the public space for us to go pay for it to go see it. That's a whole nother conversation. So I'm not going to say that Duke and the cast and crew don't have the right to express themselves. They do. And I respect that. Now, again, I still think they could have done it a different way. I think that they could have done it a different way without compromising the character of T'Challa, without compromising Wakanda. And yes, I do believe they did in the movie. But they're allowed to express their grief. They're allowed to mourn. They're allowed to do these things. So much respect to him and the cast and crew. Go ahead and express your grief. Be human. That's okay. I'll do it with you. Let's sit down, talk about it. I'll cry with you. I mourn Brother Chadwick just as much too. I don't want to compare, but I mourn him too. So I'm here for the human experience. What I'm not here for is the idea that after going through what we went through, after, again, the powers that be, Kevin Feige, Nate Moore, after y'all came down and drove that nail into the coffin by saying you will not recast, that now we can't have a human experience. Why can't we have a human experience when you took something away from us that you had the ability not to? You couldn't control what happened with Chadwick. That's life. But you can control what you put on the screen. You can control what you put on the script. Why are we not allowed that human experience? So all I'm saying is, brother, I'm here for you. I empathize with you. I sympathize with you and the cast and crew. But please don't say and act as though we too cannot have a human experience, because let's not pretend that the Black Panther franchise wasn't something special. Let's not pretend that what you and the cast and crew did touched us deeply on a cultural level. So now we supposed to just sit back and act like, let them do whatever they want and feel however they want, and we can't feel nothing either? That's not fair. That's not fair. So for me, again, I'm giving that brother space. I want him to feel and have that human experience. And I love the fact that he has that level of optimism that, yeah, sure, eventually T'Challa will come back. Yeah, sure, he's canon. Yeah, I'm glad. But I'm sorry. At the time when this was going viral, at the time before the movie, that wasn't the impression we were getting. We weren't getting because when we got a variant T'Challa, y'all killed him too. In What If? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, damn, like, how does he hold a record of being killed as a single character? It's an issue. And it's not just about the story. It's about the relationship that you have with the cultural impact. Everyone acknowledges. I don't even care if you're one of those people. Black Panther was just mediocre. But no one denies the cultural impact that it carried. No one denies that. And if we're talking about cultural impact, what does that mean? That means the level of representation that it carried. And each character, especially T'Challa, mattered. And what does that representation mean? It means that I can see myself in one of these characters, especially T'Challa. And I, as a Black man, if we're talking about the reality of real life, I see Black Death all the time. All the time. T'Challa was an escape from that. He was literally created to be an escape from that. From all the negative Black stereotypes in the civil rights era, T'Challa was created to elevate and transcend that. So when I saw him on the screen, I saw the escapism from the reality of being a Black man, seeing Black death all the time. So when you compound the fact that the movies continuously kill him, and then you double down and kill him again, and then I have to deal with the real life death of Chadwick, it's heavy. So I'm now having a human experience with the fact that something that was great was taken away, but then it was given back, but then it was taken away, but then damn, they hit me with real life, and then now y'all double down on it again in fictional life. I can't escape. So, the same way you want this movie and this experience to be a human experience, give us the respect back. Reciprocate that back. Because you might look at it as fans, trolls, people, random zeros and ones online who just want their characters. We're people too. We're fans. We're people that care. We're people with families. We're people that, I have little daughters that care about this franchise. I know people who bring their sons to the watch parties that I buy out for your movies that look up to that specific character, not the mantle, but that character of T'Challa. I wouldn't wish anything poor on Winston Duke's character. I love M'Baku because I love Winston Duke as an actor. I'd want his character to continue too. I mean, we talked about this on how the certain death that happened in the movie, I ain't like that. Enough Black Death. Enough was enough. But anyway, that's all he really had to say about this topic. So I commend him for his optimism. I'm glad that listen, I'm glad he's hopeful, and I'm not saying I'm not hopeful that eventually we won't get a T'Challa in some way, shape, or form. I'm sure they will. There's too much money to be made. But I don't want him to just disregard the impact of the franchise, the character of T'Challa, the life of Chadwick, as if fans should have just been like, whatever, we'll just wait. We'll just wait and see what happens. As if Marvel didn't make it worse by not saying anything prior to give us some conditions. I told y'all from the very jump. Had Marvel just said like, yo, after Chadwick's passing, he was so great. We just not going to recast right now. It's just too soon to recast. If they had said that in December of 2020, I would have been like, all right, y'all, let's wait and see what happens with Wakanda Forever. We'll wait. There would be no movement. There would be nothing because we'd be like, oh, okay, cool. You actually gave us a condition. That's just too soon. And that's fine. That's why in the petition, we don't ask for a time, that we didn't ask for an immediate recast. Because we understood you need to breathe. You need time to do whatever you got to do. So anyway, what do y'all think about Winston Duke's comments on Recast T'Challa? Let me know your thoughts down below. Okay. All right. Let me go back up and see. I saw a couple comments. How are y'all doing in the comments? I don't know if y'all good? Y'all cool? I don't know if there's any trolls in there. I don't know. I'll read them later. Okay. All right. I think I got it. Let me catch up. All right. Let's see. Howard D. I won't believe that from Duke until Nate says it. Yeah, I mean, that'd be nice. It would be nice to hear more confirmation from the people that are actually in charge of making decisions. So yeah, from his perspective, Marvel will do another one. Marvel will bring another T'Challa. Did you hear something? Did somebody tell you something? Because that's what I need to hear. Matter of fact, that would have been my follow-up question. If I was talking to him, I would have been like, did you hear something? Or is this just coming from your gut? Because if it's your gut, no disrespect, I don't trust your gut. Your gut don't run Marvel. Now, if you say, look, man, I've heard some things, man, T'Challa might come back. Okay, cool. I'll run with that. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what you said. But yeah, let Nate and Kevin Feige say something. Then I'll believe it. Now we talking. Thanks, Bo Givings. Thank you so much. Watching on a delay. So I know you're gonna see this so long after you're past this, but I am done with slave movies. Fast 11 going to be Vin Diesel and family versus Anthony Mackie. Thank you so much. Thanks, Bo Giving. And yes, this is super late, but I appreciate you catching up either way. No, I totally understand though. Slave movies suck. They're draining. I'm with you on all of that. Thank you. Let's see. Did we have any more before we get to the last topic? Okay, last topic. Here we go. Well, no, it's not the last topic. We got one more. So, I think a lot of you have seen this article, or at least brought it to my attention as well. One of the most, in my opinion, controversial decisions in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Again, we are talking spoilers, so it is what it is. They killed the queen. And I was not a fan. I was not a fan of the move. when y'all watched my first reaction coming out of the theater, you know, a lot of people assume like, oh, he's just mad, and he's just mad because they didn't recast T'Challa, and that's why he's so conflicted. No, I was conflicted because they doubled down on more Black death. I thought her death was completely unnecessary, and I didn't see that coming. So that is what made me more conflicted, on top of the fact that they were using real life trauma into the fiction. All of that made me conflicted. I'm like, ugh, I don't like this. Ugh, makes me feel unsettled. It's uncomfortable. It was hurtful. Because I was like, yo, why'd y'all have to kill her too? Now, here's the thing. I was thinking to myself, like, you know what? Maybe this was up to Angela, you know, Miss Bassett. Maybe she was like, you know what? I can't be doing this Marvel stuff no more. I got my 911 show. I can do other movies. You know, I mean, she's a superstar in her own right. You know, maybe she was like, look, I'm done. Yo, Ryan, kill me off. You know, I'm done. Well, it seems like that was not the case. So, Black Panther Wakanda Forever star Angela Bassett objected to Queen Ramonda's twist and asked Ryan Coogler, what are you doing? Whoa, 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 whoa. So, Angela Bassett explained in a new interview with IndieWire that she objected to Ramonda's death when speaking to director Coogler and thought audiences would hate the twist. Hi, I'm audiences, and I hated the twist. The Queen was right. I did not like it at all. Bassett said, I objected. Yeah, I was like, Ryan, what are you doing? Why? You will rue the day. You will rue the demise of Ramonda. People are going to be so upset. Hi, I'm also people, and I was also upset. If you guys followed me on social media, I had made a post where I said, when I did the watch party fundraiser, this was the first time I got to watch the movie with like average people, with like the regular, you know, general public. And, you know, because usually when I watch it with the press and journalists, you know, everybody be all uptight. Don't nobody want to say nothing. Don't nobody want to laugh, move, you know, whatever. But like now I get to watch it with real people, right? And I remember when this scene happened, and this is when I was like, there was a collective groaning in the audience. Everybody was like, oh, why? Unnecessary. Why? Rhonda, back me up. You was there. You was there, Rhonda. Everybody in the theater was like, oh. And I was sitting there, I was like, dang, I thought it was just me. You know, because when I saw it the very first time, I damn near screamed. I was like, oh, he killed the queen. Why? Oh, where Rhonda at? Rhonda, I need you to back me up on this. I don't want people thinking I was making that up. Everybody was just like, why? Why would you do this? And it's funny that apparently this is what Angela was saying from the jump. Let me read this again. What'd she say? She said, I objected. Yeah, I was like, Ryan, what are you doing? Why? You will rue the day. You will rue the demise of Ramonda. People are going to be so upset. Whoo-wee. Let's see. What else did she say? However, Ryan Coogler picked apart the scene for the star, pointed out that there are other ways for co-star characters to return in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And she added, he was like, Angela, I know, but look, to die is not really to die in this world. It doesn't really have to mean that. So, first of all, let me just say that okay, Rhonda, I know. Yeah, see? Yes, agreed. Yeah, was not good. Thank you. And thank you for that support. My issue is the fact that, like, and this was a criticism I had with the movie itself, and if you think about it, the franchise. Coogler, in my opinion, who I do believe is a great director, he's one of my favorites, so let's not twist criticism as hating. Coogler does have a dependency on using death as a way to motivate his characters. And I'm like, you're better than that. You don't need to constantly kill people to motivate someone else. For example, you didn't have to kill Ramonda to get Shuri to get mad to want to go and kill Namor. You could have put her in a coma. Or maybe you could have just used the fact that he attacked Wakanda, possibly killed innocent civilians. That's more than enough to just be like, I want to go kill Namor now. I don't think you have to really go kill these people that we, are connecting with. You don't have to do that. It's unnecessary. Oh man, Bo. And he didn't kill Rocky. I said Rocky should have died. Rocky should have died in the first Creed movie. He had cancer. It would have been fantastic for Creed's character and the story. Stallone would have won an Oscar. Anyway. So the idea that death is so casually used and frequently used, I think, is a misstep, in my opinion. The whole idea of like, oh, death isn't the same and blah, blah, blah. Bro, like, but you don't have to do that. You still don't have to do it. You know what I'm saying? You know what else is also something we could see? People just dying of old age. That's the thing. Peggy died of old age. Why can't that? I mean, yeah. The whole idea of like people could come back. So what? Now we have to deal with the multiverse. Now we have to deal with coming back in an ancestral plane. But like that still doesn't take away the sting of you killing the character. And even as a storyteller, one thing that I recall, I forget who the artist was. It might have been Michael Bendis, but one of the comic book writers or somebody was like, people are using, no, it was Jonathan Hickman, right? And he was referring to how comic book writers were overusing death as a plot device. I mean, don't get me wrong. The last time a death really carried weight was the death of Superman. That moment was like, oh my God, Superman's dead. Well, if Superman's dead, everybody dies. But the moment Superman came back, it was like, can't take death seriously anymore. Somebody's going to come back one way or another, because if you can't kill Superman and leave him dead, nobody's safe. Everybody can just come back, or I should say everybody's safe. So what ends up happening is you lose the edge as a writer when you keep using it. But again, it still doesn't take the sting away. And the sting, I think, is because of how much of a cultural relation this movie has. We don't need to keep seeing Black folks dying. Black folks we don't need lessons in death. We don't. There's nothing you can teach Black culture about death that we haven't learned for centuries. Nothing. You can't teach it. Nothing. We learned it one way or another. Let's go on to the rest of this interview. So it's not impossible that Ramonda could return in some way in the future because, as Bassett puts it, all kinds of crazy things happen. The actor went on to explain why the audience means a lot to her. She said, "The audience is family to me. The theater is sacred to me. And so I always think about how it's going to last. It's going to last on celluloid or digital or whatever you want to call it. It is going to last when I'm long gone. This queen gets it. The queen gets it. She gets it. I I I I pray for the opportunity to be able to talk to her and first of all thank her because she's like fantastic. But she's been 100% right. She's 110% right. And I would love to talk to her after Black Panther, contracts are done and everything. But she was 100% right. Like, we do have a connection a lot of times with these actors. And, they care about what's portrayed because, as I've told y'all, movies and art, a film is a piece of art, and art is a form of communication. And communication matters. You want to make sure that whatever you're trying to tell or whatever you're trying to show to the audience is something that's received and reciprocated, right? If you're an actor, you want to put something out there so that audiences can feel something. And when they feel it, they reciprocate it back to you. So if you play a villain and you get the audience to boo you, you love that because that's what you wanted. If you, play something sad and you want them to cry and they do, like you love that because that's what you wanted. So it's that mutual relationship, and she clearly was a little bit more in tune than other people, than Coogler apparently, in terms of the reaction that was coming from audiences. The fact that she was able to, and maybe that's just her experience, as an actor, as a theater actor, she just knew like, yo, you do this. I don't know, people gonna like this. People gonna come at you, bro. And it wasn't the best decision, in my opinion. But anyway, what do y'all think about the Queen's comments, the Queen's objection to Ryan Coogler deciding to kill her off? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, speaking of comments, let me grab a couple here and then we got one more and then we're going to end off. Let me make sure I didn't skip nobody. Okay, got it. I'm moving down. Yep, got that one. Okay. And Howard, what you got? Ryan better be sneakily telling her she was a Skrull. Matter of fact, the whole dead royal family better be revealed as Skrull. So, someone had mentioned that earlier in online, and they had said like, oh, T'Challa's body is really a Skrull and stuff like that. First of all, let me just say from a narrative standpoint, that wouldn't make sense because we saw that when Skrulls died, they revert back to their normal selves. So unless all of Wakanda is already compromised and all of them, it's probably not likely. Somebody would have noticed, but let's just say that's not the case. I find it incredibly unlikely that Marvel is going to try now to backpedal and undo at least T'Challa's death. I don't know, maybe they could do some things with other people, but I think it'd be very unlikely that they do something with T'Challa's death, mainly because let's not forget you have a lot of people out there. What do they call them? Flirts or whatever? I don't know, whatever that term was that they called them. You have a lot of people who conflate Chadwick with T'Challa. You have a lot of people that cannot separate Chadwick from T'Challa and vice versa. So because you have that, it creates a very sensitive situation where first of all, it was sensitive for us to constantly have his character die multiple times. That was already sensitive. Now imagine trying to revive that, to undo that and be like, psych, we was just playing. Ha ha ha. Chadwick's T'Challa is just fine, y'all. Yeah, that was a Skrull. They're not gonna do that. The vitriol the hate, the negativity that Marvel would get from the masses of people would be nothing that we've ever seen before. That people would talk about Marvel in such a negative light. I wouldn't even wish Marvel to do that because it's not good. It's not good. You don't play with people's emotions like that. This is what happens when you conflate real life and fictional tragedy. And then to just be like, psych, he's not really dead. No. Even for the sake of comic accuracy, even for the sake of fan appeasement, no. You already painted yourself in this real life trauma into fictional corner. We're not going to go backwards because it's just going to be messy. And I would argue that would be disrespectful. I think that would be. But thank you for that. Really appreciate you. I see what you got. What do you think are the chances that Marvel makes Shuri the Queen of the Dead and she asks Boss to resurrect T'Challa Sr. and raises T'Challa Jr.? Slim. Because to be honest with you, I'm actually more surprised that Boss didn't show up in the ancestral plane. Like, that was comic accurate. She did, when she was trying to go for the mantle, Boss did interact with her. And I'm like, I get it. I do understand why they went the Killmonger route. I totally understand that. But at the same time, you could have just had her talk to Boss. And Boss could have she was having a battle of faith the entire movie. The very opening of the movie is her praying to Boss to save her brother. Could you imagine the conversation she could have had with Boss? Why didn't you save my brother? Boss would have been like, why didn't you? Or just something like that. I mean, my goodness. The Killmonger thing again, it was okay. But I'm like, yo, Boss versus Shuri, that conversation, even in the comics, I know it was a different situation. That's gold right there. And we just got fresh off of Thor Love and Thunder. Ugh. And we saw Boss. We know Boss is here. We know what she is. It's not like she a stranger or something. So they had an opportunity there, at least, to do something with it. But yeah, the whole Queen of the Dead and resurrecting and all that, I don't think so. I think, like I said, I don't think they're about to try and undo anything. I think that they are going to move forward with a different direction. Now, there could be variants that happen, maybe, but I don't know. We'll get to that. I'm about to get to it actually in just a little bit here. I think that's it for that. Okay, so last question, last topic. What do we do? What is next for Recast T'Challa? All right, so this is something that I've had some people asking about. I've had people, I've been on interviews and people's like, well, is Recast T'Challa done? Like, are you satisfied? Are you happy? Is it finished? Y'all won, and all that stuff. And like, what's next? All right, so I'm not going to speak for everyone and anyone that endorses Recast T'Challa, promotes it, uses that. I'm not gonna talk for y'all. I am gonna talk for myself though. What I said, and I'll back up exactly what I said previously. I am currently in a wait and see position when it comes to the movement. I am in the position where I am not disavowing Recast T'Challa. I'm not, burning my Recast T'Challa shirts or anything like that. But at the same time, I'm not going to go out of my way to push the petition or do this. I'll still have the conversation. Don't get me wrong. I will have the conversation. But you're not going to see me pushing it as much just because I want to wait and see what Marvel does next. I told you guys two things. One, this is a chess game, right? Everything that has happened from April of 2021 to now, November of 2022, has been a chess game. It's we do this, we wait for you, then we do that, we wait, then we move here. I've also told you guys it's been a marathon, not a race. It's not a sprint. I've also said T'Challa in the petition, the main thing we're looking for is the continuation of the portrayal of T'Challa. I left that very broad. I never said you have to do the 616 T'Challa. I never said you have to do a variant. I never said that. I just said the portrayal of T'Challa should continue. Now, with that said, what ended up happening in the movie is not a literal recast. They did not literally recast T'Challa. They did, however, figuratively recast T'Challa with this junior, right? I mean, think about it. They're not about to call him T'Challa Jr. in this future franchise. They're not going to do it. They're going to call him T'Challa, right? One of the reasons why I want to wait and see is because I want to make sure Marvel does not make him a symbolic gesture. I don't want Marvel to say, you say recast T'Challa? We gave you a recast T'Challa. Look. And there it's going to be right there. We're just going to leave T'Challa Jr. on the shelf and that's it. We're not. No, that's it. I don't want that because that does not support what the petition said, which was to continue the portrayal of T'Challa. So if they go put T'Challa Jr. in the back, in the background and just say like, oh, he's just a symbol of Chadwick and a reminder, yo, miss me with that. Miss me with all of that. Because if you're going to treat him like Judy from Family Matters and have him go upstairs and never come back, that's not even a figurative recast. It's performative. And you just acting. So I want to wait and see what they do because then I'll be in a better position to judge. I'm not going to judge off of, well, you didn't recast when I wanted. You didn't recast based off of this comic book. And I'm not doing that. If y'all want to do that, that's y'all. I'm not. I'm going to wait and see because here's the other kicker here. To the outside world, to the people that were, let's say, anti-recasters, a lot of them believe we won. A lot of them are like, well, Marvel recast. Marvel, listen, they did it. You know what? I like that feeling of knowing that they believe we won. Now, I don't want to claim victory because I don't know what they're going to do with this junior. I also don't know what they're going to do with the future. I don't know what they're going to do because Kang is coming in Ant-Man 3. And then you have Avengers Kang Dynasty. I don't know if they're about to give us a reset timeline and then they give us a more comic accurate version of T'Challa as a variant. I don't know that. I don't know if they're going to take T'Challa Jr. and throw him through a portal, have him do some time traveling, hurry up and grow up and give us like a butt-kicking, super intelligent, married to Storm T'Challa. I don't know that. I don't know any of that. All of those things are possible. Every single one of those things are possible. But I want to wait and see what they do so then I can call it out if I need to. Again, that's just me. I'm not telling y'all what to do. Because one thing I've said when this whole thing started, okay, now let's think about this now. And I'm not bragging, I'm just bringing up receipts. I told y'all exactly what was going to happen when things were going to happen a year and a half ago. I predicted all of it. I told you this is when it's going to trend and then it's going to go quiet. Up, but then it's going to pick up again, and then it's going to go quiet. If you've been riding and you've been on this journey for over a year and a half, you know there were times all the news went quiet. That was predicted. That was part of it. Because if it was constant, it would have turned people off. But when it came up, when it was important, it hit people when it mattered. And people couldn't tune us out. That's the importance of being able to gauge and see and back off and come in when you need to. Just think about it. Have you ever had someone just nag you all the time? And when they nag, you tune them out. You stop listening. It's no longer relevant. It's white noise to you. But if something always comes up at a certain point, at a strategic time, now you're always going to pay more attention. Right? So anyway, the way I'm approaching things is kind of like, in a race, like with let's say a race car. Anyone that's driven a race car, or even if you played a racing video game, you don't keep your foot on the pedal all the time. Sometimes you still move, but you got to take your foot off the pedal to turn and to hit that drive, hit that drift. And then you put the pedal to the metal right after that. Sometimes you're going to have to brake so you can shift and you can move and adjust. So for me, the way I'm going through this, I'm waiting and I'm seeing, and then I'm going to adjust when things happen. That's me. If you want to do something else, that's up to you. So that, I think, is what I'm doing next with Recast T'Challa. I am going to, like I said, I'm going to wait and see what Marvel does. I'm going to wait and see, how much respect you putting on T'Challa Jr.? How much respect are you putting on building up a variant? How much respect and energy are you putting into making whatever T'Challa the best version that we could have had? I want to see all of that. I want to see, the ball is in your court. What's your next move, Marvel? That's what I want to see. Now, if you mess up, we back in full force. You mess up, we back in full force all day. But we'll see what happens. So anyway, no, Recast T'Challa is not dead. It is still going to be here. Like I said, I want to see what happens, and then I'll judge it from there. But anyway, y'all let me know how you feel. Let me know what you think. Share your comments down below. All of that is cool. And let me just say shout out to everybody that has been along this journey, this long journey. I know that we've had a lot of bumps and bruises. I know we've got a current uncomfortable compromise or an uncomfortable situation, however you want to view it. But golly, when I tell you, I'm so proud of y'all. Like, I am so proud of everybody that's been like pushing it, that's been carrying the conversation positively. I've been so appreciative of all of y'all that have made everyone in this movement look good. I appreciate y'all so much. So huge thank you to all of you for that, because none of this could have been possible without y'all. So shout out to y'all all day. All right, y'all, that is all I got today. Wait, do I have comments? Hold on, let me see. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Let me grab some comments. And okay, I got one. All right, hold on. Let me grab this, and then I think we're gonna bounce. Tommy, what you got? Do you honestly believe Marvel will recast? I don't know. I mean, speaking to Nate Moore, if you've watched the interview, he understood that he was caught between a rock and a hard place. That to me, I can respect because he knows they painted themselves in a corner. He knows that he put himself in a no-win situation. And because of that, it's a lot better than them saying, no, T'Challa should die and never come back. You see what I'm saying? Like, so for me, I think that Marvel also understands the importance of T'Challa. I think that they got caught up in the conflation of Chadwick is T'Challa. That's what tripped up Marvel. Marvel knows where the money resides. The money does reside in T'Challa. And I know that Nate Moore had said something like, oh, well, I hope, people can feel inspired by the new Black Panther, Shuri, but I'm sorry, that might not be the case, and let's be just honest. I'm not being sexist or anything like that, but generally speaking, I'm not saying this is impossible, but generally speaking, people are attracted or relate to things that are familiar to them. That's a human trait. That's a human fact. Boys will usually connect with other men. Girls will usually relate and connect with other women. Are there exceptions? Yes. But I'm not talking about the exceptions to the rule. I'm talking about on a general basis. So are the masses of young boys or men going to connect with Shuri? Probably not. That doesn't mean that they hate her. That doesn't mean that they don't like her. I just don't think they can connect with her. Now, on the flip side, will girls do that? Possibly. You're probably going to have more girls. It's a shift. And guess what? Both are okay. It's okay if men don't relate to a woman. It's okay if women don't relate to a man. It's okay if women relate to a woman and men relate to a man. Those are all okay. Neither situation makes one bad or the other. It's just the way we are as humans. But is there value in bringing T'Challa back? Absolutely. If you haven't noticed, the merchandise so far, even in spite of this movie, they still rocking T'Challa. They still selling T'Challa on the toys. They are. So yes, I do believe that Marvel will recast. How they do that, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if T'Challa Jr. is a figurative recast. I don't know if they're like, this is the actual T'Challa. I don't know that. I don't know if they're going to give us a variant and do that. I don't know, but I do know that they hear and agree that T'Challa matters. They haven't demonstrated it by killing him multiple times, but I think they do hear the message loud and clear. And Nate Moore did say that the conversation was not wrong. And I appreciate that. He said we're not wrong in the value and desire of seeing T'Challa continue. So I do think eventually it'll happen. How? I don't know, but we'll see. But okay, I think that's all we have for today. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all, I got a lot of work to do. I got to finish the complete breakdown and spoiler review for Wakanda Forever. I apologize for taking so long, but yeah, I'm tired. I got a lot of stuff to do. But I'm gonna work on that. Hopefully I can get it to you by this weekend. Then I got to work on another video because I got to break down that ancestral plane. I don't think it's what you think it was. Didn't I have something else? I don't know. I had something else. Then I got to do another video on T'Challa. Oh my gosh. I got some more stuff I got to kick out, but y'all have a great weekend. I really appreciate y'all sticking around all the time. I definitely love it. Wash your hands, wash your butts. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy yourself. And peace out. Hold on. Let me get this out the way real quick. Here we go.
Wakanda
save T'Challa. We need a recast, chat would agree, and I truly believe that. Stories untold, I pray that we get to unfold. Don't kill him, we don't need to see that. A black man is king, I think that is crucial. If not for the grown-ups, the kids should move you. Representation, let it multiply. Stop telling the stories, how legacies die. We can explore the world of Wakanda by addition and not replacement. 1.3 billion, how was that? And I'm making a statement. Being pigeonholed to a role like there could be only one is deflating. Man, it's a mindset that ain't died yet, cause the lack of seeing our faces. Sure, we can be the queen of the nation. Women should feast, we want elevation. Now, wouldn't it be dope if they rose up together without doing something as cold as erasing them? We got respect for Ryan and Nate. They doing their best, they stuck in the middle, but I hope they think about what is at stake. Don't rush it, but please let the saga continue. Doubling down on Black Death is a trope we no longer want to handle. Wakanda forever, T'Challa forever. It's never been about the man, so what is we saying? This ain't about Phantom and getting my way. It's all for the love, it's not for the hate. No matter what people are trying to say, recast T'Challa. Recast T'Challa.